We're live at Lanto Field in Claremore for Claremore Zebras versus the Pryor Tigers. Week 1 of the 2015 season. Bryant Ferguson, always glad to be joined in the booth by Josh Haley for another season of Claremore Zebra football. Good to be back at the field. Good to hear some helmets and pads as we walked in tonight. Players getting warmed up and ready to go. And what a great game to start with this rivalry, Claremore and Pryor. This one going back to the early 1900s. Has been both in and out of district play over the last several years. That could change yet again in the future, so you'll want to stay tuned to halftime, and we'll have a visit with Claremore Athletics Director Brent Payne to talk to us a little bit more about some realignment, if you will. Claremore moving down a class next year back to 5A. But let's talk about this game that we've got coming up tonight. Actually, let me quickly brief you on this season's schedule. We'll have all the same opponents this year, but the ones that were home games will now be away and vice versa. So that means in the next 2 weeks, we'll be coming to you from the natural state. Siloam Springs and Rogers, Arkansas are our next two venues. But then district play will be the same, just again switching stadiums. So we'll have some of the same opponents or some of the same teams we saw last year. We'll get back to the schedule a little bit later in the broadcast, but let's talk about last year's game, Josh, versus the Pryor Tigers, also opening last season.
Yeah, and as you mentioned, last year was the first year that Claremore and Pryor had opened up against one another in a number of years. Claremore and Oologah had traditionally opened up the season against one another, and traditionally on a Thursday night. Whenever that rivalry went away, so many people were sad to see it go. We were sad to see it go, and I'm sure both schools were as well to an extent. But when you look at this Claremore-Pryor rivalry, it does not have to lack in any way compared to the Claremore-Oologah rivalry. This is a series that's been going on since the early 1900s. There is no lost love between these two schools, separated by Highway 20. And for Claremore and Pryor to look forward to this matchup every year, you can tell them that it doesn't mean anything towards playoffs since it's a non-district game, but it means an awful lot to both of these schools. Bragging rights for another year. And when you looked at last year's matchup, as you mentioned, it was a 28-3 defeat that Claremore suffered in Pryor. And so you have to think that Claremore still has that on their minds because a lot of these Claremore players were part of that game a season ago. And Claremore really owned this rivalry from 2006 to 2010. It was a game that was never really a problem for the Claremore Zebras. But as we've moved on further, this Pryor team, boy, they've got a lot to be proud about, huh? They've really brought this program up. They won a district championship a couple of seasons ago. It's been nothing but winning ways for the Pryor Tigers. Last year, a little bit of a down year, a 500 record, but now they've got a new coach, Jeremy Branchcombe, and I think it's safe to say that he's probably going to embrace this rivalry and knows the tradition of Pryor football that he's going to have to try to uphold.
Okay, not a lot out there just yet. Obviously, none of these teams playing yet other than scrimmages, and they're, of course, not showing their full hand. The personnel is going to look different than what it's going to look like in the Friday nights ahead. But tell us the little that we do know about these Pryor Tigers this year.
Well, for this Pryor team, one thing you can expect is to see a lot of running the football, something that we see typically from this Pryor team. They have had a slew of different solid quarterbacks over the past 5 years, but they've all had one thing in common, and that's that they can run. And I don't expect to see too much different of a look this season. We might see them pass a little bit more, but I would look for a run-heavy team from Pryor, and we're going to see the same from this Claremore Zebra team. They're going to go back to a more traditional Claremore-style team. That's playing good defense, running the football, and controlling the clock.
And we talked to Coach Gilbert last night. He filled us in on the offense and defense expectations for this coming year. We'll break that down after we take another pregame break. And when we come back, get you set for kickoff. Zebras versus Tigers. This is Zebra Football on 91.3 RSU Radio and ClaremoreZebras.tv.
Fans come support the CHS band and test drive a brand new Dodge during the Dodge Drive fundraiser on September 8th from 4 to 7 at the Robson PAC. For every test drive, the band receives $20. Thank you, CHS Band.
Yes.
Captains for the Zebras tonight include number 14.
Getting set for kickoff on week 1 of the 2015 season. Glad to have you with us for Zebra Football on ZTV, also on 91.3 FM RSU Radio. Simulcasting for another year. More about that in a little bit as the teams take to midfield for the coin toss shortly. Let's talk about this Claremore Zebras team this year, Josh, because so many several skill position players graduating last year. We're going to see a lot of new faces in those key positions this year.
Well, we certainly will. One of those is Aaron McCullough, the starting quarterback. Now, we got to see him a little bit last year, but some injuries forced Claremore to use 5 different quarterbacks last season. But Aaron McCullough, who was just a sophomore last year, was thrust into action, and he played pretty well, especially as the season went on. It's not easy to step into a varsity game in 6A as an underclassman and handle that kind of pressure, but Aaron McCullough's got a cool head and a big-time arm, so it'll be interesting to see how he responds this season. He's going to have to control the offense, and head coach Rob Gilbert says he does a nice job of that. In the backfield, Keegan Heisey, a guy with just a ton of speed, your track-style speed, if you will. And for Keegan Heisey, a guy that broke off a lot of big runs last year, including a couple of big ones against a solid Booker T. Washington defense. So a guy that got some time last year because of his speed, because of injuries. He saw even more time, and he'll be the featured back for Claremore. I think this offense is going to go as Keegan Heisey goes.
All right, defensively, we saw the Zebras the last couple years in a 4-4 system. Should see more of that this year among some other things.
Yeah, and you're allowed to go to that 4-4 because you have such athletic players, particularly in that linebacking core. When you look at Brady Kropp and Derek Brazel, 2 of the feature linebackers on this Claremore defense, if you need to go to a more traditional defensive back coverage, say a nickel-type formation, these linebackers, Brady Kropp and Derek Brazel, have the speed to step out and play man-to-man coverage. So you can run that 4-4 defense to stop the run a little bit better. But when it comes to seeing spread-type formations and a lot of passing, you've got the experience and the ability from those 2 linebackers to step out and be able to handle it.
All right, one more break before we get set for kickoff. We'll get you our keys to the game when we come back. This is Zebra Football on 91.3 RSU Radio and ClaremoreZebras.tv.
Traveling trophy and the naming of the player of the game for each team. Each player of the game will receive a $500 scholarship. Robert Auto Group is your dealer for life.
Yes, yes. Okay. Back at Lanto Field in Claremore, the Zebras getting ready to take the field as they come out of the locker room to run through the inflated helmet here at the northeast corner of Lanto Field. Bryant Ferguson joined by Josh Haley. Glad to have you guys with us for Zebra pregame. Josh, let's talk about our keys to the game tonight for the Zebras.
Well, for Claremore, we talked about this young team, and while you might think young and inexperienced go hand in hand, not so much with this Claremore team. Because of all the injuries a season ago, a lot of these guys might be younger, but they do have the experience. However, they don't know what it's like to have that starting role on opening night, at least for some of them. So I think for this Claremore team tonight, the most important thing is to come out early and be able to sustain some drives and put some points on the board. Not only do they have to prove that to themselves, they got to prove it to Pryor as well. Remember, Pryor has dominated this series over the last 5 years. And for the Pryor Tigers, why should they believe anything different that they can beat this Claremore team? So for the Zebras, they have got to come out and show Pryor early that this is a different football team than what Pryor's seen the last few seasons.
All right, everybody's fired up here on the home side. Looks like a good crowd has come from Pryor as well, but you can see the Zebra players as they're getting ready to come out of the tunnel. They're fired up as well. Who wouldn't be fired up? We're ready for football to get started here in Oklahoma. Nothing like Friday nights. And here come the Zebras. So we're going to be a little bit delayed in getting started tonight, not but a couple of minutes. But it'll give us a little bit of time to talk about the partnership that we have between ZTV and RSU Radio now for the third year. The simulcast, as I mentioned a few moments ago, game will be broadcast on 91.3 FM, which is KRSC up on the hill at Rogers State University, the student-operated station, and also on www.claremorezebras.tv. And these games available on demand anytime you want to go back to watch. Just hit the website and click on the appropriate week. You can even go back into the archives and watch past games. But a great partnership. And I tell you, this ZTV crew, which is run entirely by Claremore High School students, not only do they have the tough task of producing these games, getting everything set up and ready, it's an entirely student-operated system, but the added dimension of the simulcast, I mean, we throw a lot at them. There's not any other crews that I know of that also have to deal with the radio broadcast being a part of this, and they have handled this famously for going on 4 years now. So really proud of these students under the direction of Jeff Falconer, and very happy to be back. Thank you to the Claremore High School Athletics Department, Claremore Public Schools, and everyone involved, not to mention the Claremore football team, who is getting ready to take the field. So we mentioned Athletics Director Brent Payne, hopeful to have him at halftime to talk about the 6A, 5A mix-up. More on that as the night goes on, but Claremore will be kicking away to get things started tonight wearing the home reds. Red jerseys with white numbers and letters, red pants with the, again, satin black helmets with the gloss red zebra stripes. Think of the Cincinnati Bengal style helmets for those of you on radio. Pryor Tigers in the road white, with gray pants, gray helmets, and blue numbers and letters on their jerseys. Claremore will be kicking from the west to the east. Pryor will be returning this one back into the sun. So it could be difficult for them to find this ball in the air. Austin Lefebvre set deep to return, as well as Gage Mendeville wearing the number 1 jersey. Those of you on ZTV tonight, if you're like Rob Gilbreth, you'll be expecting to see that young man quite a lot. And he says one of, if not their best player on the entire squad this year.
Well, there's a lot of talent I think we're going to see. That's what you always kind of look for in these early season matchups is you know there's going to be some guys step up that weren't there a season ago, and it's always interesting to see who it is.
Jacob Teeter set to kick off. The short approach and the right-footed deep onside toward the near sidelines will bounce and go out of bounds at the 30, so it will be marked there. 1st and 10 for the Tigers from their own 30-yard line.
Well, and that's one thing that Claremore has a big difference in from the last 3 seasons, as you had Jared Vincent, a kicker who, you know, quite frankly, we were shocked that he wasn't kicking Division I this season. It was almost a travesty, but nonetheless, he is going to be kicking in college, and that's great to see. But guy kicked a 56-yarder in a game last season, and if you know a lot about football, or particularly the high school level or kicking, I'll tell you this, he didn't use the rubber block all of last season, which makes it even more impressive. That's a true 56-yard field goal.
Chandler Olson, the junior quarterback, back in the pistol. Puts a man in motion left. Long snap count. Olson takes the snap. Handoff. Off tackle to the left. Runs into a Zebra defender. And he stopped at the 37-yard line for a 2-yard gain. I forgot to mention the out-of-bounds kick would place the ball at the 35. So a 2-yard gain brings up 2nd and 8. So we're apparently experiencing some issues on RSU Radio. We'll keep going here on ZTV as we try to get reconnected with RSU Radio. But here's Olson again, and the pistol takes a snap. Yet another handoff. This one breaks through across the 45-yard line and into Zebra territory to the 46. 1st and 10 for the Pryor Tigers. Alex Yates with the carry.
Well, Alex Yates got a big-time hole that time, and as soon as he hit it, he just took off, didn't waste any time, and he was in the secondary before Claremore even knew it.
Olson 1st and 10 from the Zebra 47. Stays in the pistol. Takes a snap. Handoff right up the middle, and he's hit and stopped early for a 1-yard gain. 2nd down and 9.
Well, Claremore has a lot of returning players on that line, but you know, one thing that's different this season about this Claremore team is these are two completely different units from offense.
Here's a handoff yet again to the big back, right up the middle across the 40, across the 30, 25, 20. Pulled down and stopped at the 15-yard line. Tigers marching right down the field, but they throw the beanbag. 1st down, Claremore. Zebras recover the fumble.
And that was Alex Moore that stepped in and ripped it away right before the player went down. It was Spencer Henson once again that had a big run. It was a 25-yard run all the way down to about the 20-yard line. And all of a sudden, Alex Moore just yanked it out of there at the last second.
All right, 1st and 10 for the Zebras from their own 16-yard line. Here's McCullough. They'll do the direct snap, coming back to the near side 15-yard line. Breaks a tackle at the 17, falling forward to the 20. And stops at the 21-yard line. It was Keegan Heisey with the carry. And where will they mark it? Will they mark it closer to the 20? They will for a 4-yard gain, 2nd and 6.
Well, we talked about Keegan Heisey in the pregame, what he's going to mean to this Claremore team this season. Saw a lot of playing time last year, and a guy with just a ton of speed, but they're going to have to keep him healthy. And Coach Rob Gilbert talked about the guys that can come in and spell Heisey after a long run, or if he gets a little bit winded, they've got the depth at that running back position.
Snap again to Heisey up the right side. Breaks free across the 25, lowers his head and falls forward to the 30. 1st and 10 Zebras.
Well, and that's the type of speed that you're looking at. Once he saw just a little bit of space in there, he hit that hole very quickly, and that was a quick 10-yard gain.
And please forgive the extra sound coming through. We are trying to reconnect with radio. 1st and 10 for the Zebras from their own 30. McCullough in the shotgun. Heisey the direct snap, lowers his head, drives the pile forward up to the 33-yard line for a 3-yard gain, 2nd and 7.
Well, I can't tell you how big that play is for the Claremore Zebras to be able to have a turnover like that on the opening drive, especially after Pryor was ripping off big run after big run, to really steal the momentum like that. That is a huge play for Claremore, and for Alex Moore, a senior. That's the type of plays that you want and need your seniors to make.
2nd and 7 from the 33. Heisey, the handoff, and then they'll have to fall down on the ball. Bad exchange between Keegan Heisey and Laramie Davison, who we were told would see plenty of touches this season. But that one backs it up to the 30. It'll be 3rd and 10.
Well, and that's just getting creative with this offense and trying to send Davison there on that quick end around. But just not able to get that clean exchange. And those are some of the things you might see in week 1 and week 2 of the season. Everybody's still kind of working out those bumps.
All right, there's McCullough the snap. Now the handoff on the end around. Makes a nice move with the 30 to the 40, near side 50-yard line to the 40, being chased and knocked out of bounds at the 32-yard line. And Riley Broucher with the handoff and long run. 1st and 10 Zebras into Tiger territory.
Well, that's a big-time run by Riley Broucher, and we've already talked about some of the names that Coach Gilbert told us about coming into this season, and Riley Broucher was certainly another one. He was a guy that Coach Gilbert was not going to let anybody forget about, saying what a big role he had the potential to play, and that's a huge play for Broucher and the Zebras.
First and 10 from the 31. Here's Heisey, the direct snap around the right side, 30-yard line. 35 to the 20, just tripped up and stopped at the 10-yard line. First and 10 Zebras inside the red zone.
Well, another big run by Keegan Heisey, but I tell you what, if you go back and look at the film on this one, that was a big-time block from Lane Hembry for Claremore. He came around the right side. He was pulling on the play and got out in front of Heisey, and once he sealed off one block to the outside, that's what really sprung Heisey to be able to find that opening.
First and goal from the 9. Heisey's got this one. Coming to the left and forward to the 8-yard line for a 1-yard gain. Second and goal.
And even after that long run and a big hit afterward, Heisey was still able to come in and pick it up on the very next play.
Again, apologizing for all this extra audio you're getting, having trouble connecting with RSU Radio. Everything worked beautifully in pregame. Sounds like we may be connecting. Second and goal from the 8. Snap, McCullough. The handoff, Heisey around the right side to the 10-yard line, so that'll drop him back a yard. It'll be third and goal from just outside the 10-yard line. 7:25 remaining in the opening quarter, no score.
Well, and this is where things get really interesting, because when we talk to head coach Rob Gilbreth, you know, with the kicker situation much different this year, they have a kicker who's reliable from short yardage situations, but a very young guy in Teeter. So you have to wonder if Claremore is looking at 4-down territory here, and that can certainly change the way that you call this third down play.
Third and goal from just outside the 10. McCullough in the gun. He'll take the snap. Rolling left, wants to throw. Going for the corner of the end zone. Sliding catch made. Touchdown, Claremore. Zebras strike first, and it's Will Hines.
Will Hines, another senior, making a big play for this Claremore team right off the bat. And wow, what credit to Aaron McCullough. You hadn't really had him try to throw a pass yet in this season, and the first time he rolls to his left, and that's a difficult throw for a right-handed quarterback, but he put it on the money, and Hines made a sliding catch. What a play.
Jacob Teeter to attempt the point after. Very high snap. It's brought down. The kick is up, and it is good. Great job by Noah Grimmett bringing the high snap down and getting the hold. Zebras take the lead 7-0. 6:53 left in the opening quarter. This is Zebra football on 91.3 RSU Radio and ClaremoreZebras.tv.
Fans, get your programs out. Let's have the first quarter drawing. Courtesy of RCB Bank and the Zebra Quarterback Club. Check your program for a picture of number 3, Paul Hope. If it is signed by Paul, please go to the Zebra Quarterback Club merchandise trailer to receive your gift courtesy of the Quarterback Club. Again, you're looking for number 3, Paul Hope, his signature.
Zebras lead 7-0 with 6:53 remaining in the first. Here's a short kickoff brought in at the 30. Tigers return it straight ahead to the 37-yard line. First and 10 for the Pryor Tigers from there. That one returned by Josh Hawkins. So again, 6:46 left in the first. Claremore driving down the field. He had a great passing touchdown just a few moments ago from Aaron McCullough.
Yeah, in case you missed it, it was Will Hines who made a sliding catch in the end zone on third down. And we mentioned, what would they do on third down? Would they play it in 4-down territory? But they didn't. They went for it all and got it.
Olsen in the pistol, first and 10 from his own 37. Here's a handoff going up the middle across the 40 to the 41-yard line for a 4-yard gain for the Tigers. Brings up second and 6, and it was Spencer Henson with the carry.
Well, Henson is such a big back, and when you have those big players like that, you get a rare combination. Henson might look like a big guy, but we've already seen he's got some wheels on him. It can really take a toll on this defense.
Tigers second and 6 from their own 41. And here is Henson again. Not going to get very far in this one. Oh, yes, he is. He's going to keep pushing the whole pile forward up to the 46-yard line. Between the 45 and 46, so it'll bring up third and a short 2.
Well, I would be shocked if we didn't see Henson, the big battering ram, get another carry here on third down and short.
Olsen in the pistol. Henson is in the backfield. He does get the handoff. Hit in the backfield early. Can he break free? He's trying, but the Zebra defense there to stop him. He still falls forward to the 45 and was hit a couple of yards earlier, but it was a loss on the play, so now it will be 4th and 2 Tigers from their own 45-yard line, trailing by 7 here midway through the first.
Well, and what do? The offense is looking over to the sideline saying, hey, we're at the 45-yard line, our own 45 that is, so kind of at midfield, and they're viewing this as 4-down territory. Question is, are they just trying to draw Claremore off sides, or are they serious?
Chandler Olsen in the pistol. Henson in the backfield. Olsen. And flags and whistles stop the play.
I think they were confused.
They were. False start.
I don't know if they were confused on whether they were actually going or just confused on the snap count, but whenever you go no huddle like that, you are really taking a chance of some players out there being confused. You've got 11 guys in a 4th down situation. You're on the road in week 1. The nerves are getting a little bit high out there, and obviously Pryor not on the same page.
4th and 7 for the Tigers. Now from their own 40, Spencer Henson in punt formation. And Keegan Heisey deep for the Zebras, lined up just inside his own 20. Here's the right-footed punt, a high spiraler. Nice hang time on this one. Heisey backs up, drops it, bobbles it. It's going back towards the end zone. He's got to dive on it at the 8. 1st and 10 Claremore from their own 8-yard lines. 4:46 left in the first quarter. 7-0 Claremore leads Pryor.
Well, Keegan Heisey being a younger player, he's not used to returning punts a lot, and you've got to respect the effort there, but for Keegan Heisey, he's got to understand in that situation, you're already running back towards your own goal line. You're getting close to the 10. You've just got to let that one go and get away from it. Could have been disaster for Claremore.
They'll have it spotted at the 7, 1st and 10. Now in the shadow of their locker room. Aaron McCullough in the shotgun. Takes the snap. It's going to go straight ahead across the 10-yard line. His progress will take him to the 11 for a 4-yard gain. 2nd and 6.
Well, very impressive from Aaron McCullough. I tell you, he had 1 touchdown pass a season ago, and on his first attempt in 2015, throws a touchdown pass, and that was not an easy throw. If you're just joining us, 3rd and 10, or 3rd and goal, if you will, from the 10 for Claremore. Rolled out to his left on his first throw of the game and connected with Will Hines.
2nd and 6, Zebras from their own 11. Direct snap, there's Heisey. Keegan takes it straight up the middle and leaning forward, getting to the 15-yard line. Not a 4-yard gain, 2nd and 2. Correction, 3rd and 2 from the 15.
I tell you, seeing the balanced attack so far from these Claremore Zebras, very, very impressive. Already 3 different players have connected on positive yardage runs. Seeing Will Hines catch the touchdown pass, it's got to give this team a lot of confidence, and that's what we said was a key for this Claremore team, to get some early confidence.
Zebras 3rd and 2 from their own 15. McCullough straight ahead, boom, then hit hard and driven down to the turf by a Tiger defender who is still covered up and can't quite get a look at who it is. It's Christian Campbell, the junior linebacker. What a hit and stop.
Well, his forward progress is going to be close, but I think it's going to be just a little bit short.
They're going to take a timeout for a measurement. MoreClaremore.com is a proud supporter of Claremore Zebra football and this broadcast. More Claremore provides positive community journalism, a community calendar, and videos of events from around the Claremore area. Be more, do more. MoreClaremore.com. As they bring this chains onto the field, we'll have a decent look at it. And it's going to be just a little bit short. So it'll bring up 4th and inches.
Well, while this might be very tempting, I think you're well too early in the ball game to try to take the gamble here. You've already got a 7-0 lead. Your defense is held up on 2 different drives now, and a very impressive hold by the Claremore defense on the last Pryor drive. So you just punt this one away, cut your losses. You're going to give Pryor very good field position, but just take what you can get. And take a look at this. Derek Brazel who we saw punt a little bit last year. Going to get to see what kind of leg he has got this year. Again, Jared Vincent, who's gone, he was the punter and the kicker.
Gage Mendeville deep near midfield for Pryor. Low snap to Heisey, goes down for it, right-footed punt, end over end towards the far side, will bounce at the 35, and a great bounce in Claremore's favor. Going to roll out close to midfield. It will roll dead at the 50-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Tigers. From there, 34-yard punt and no return. 3 minutes left in the first. Claremore leads Pryor 7-0, and the Tigers will take over.
Well, not a bad punt there from Derek Brazel on his first attempt here in 2015. He got the fortunate roll, and when you look at it from Claremore's standpoint, Pryor only gained 5 yards in field position, but this is very good for the Pryor Tigers to be able to start at midfield if you're looking at it from their case.
1st and 10 Tigers from midfield. Here's Olson. Fakes the handoff, takes it himself, angling left side, 45-yard line to the 40. He's got the first down, runs out of bounds at the 38-yard line for a 12-yard gain. 1st and 10 for the Tigers.
Well, we had to wonder what kind of wheels Olson had. We had already seen Henson and Yates break off big runs, but when you look at Olson at that quarterback position, you just kind of get the feeling that he can take off and has a little bit of quickness. So not surprising there to see him take off.
Tigers 1st and 10 from the Zebra 38. Olson in the pistol. Takes the snap. Handoff. Looking left. Hit early but breaks free and up to the 35-yard line. Here's Alex Yates with the carry for the Tigers. And he'll pick up 3, 2nd and 7.
You know, for this Claremore team, although they got that fumble on that first drive and the turnover to take it away from Pryor, I think they've got to feel a lot better about how they defended on that last drive. Stopping the big back, Henson, on that 3rd down and 2 play, that was a big stop for Claremore.
2nd and 7, Olson in the pistol, Yates in the backfield. He's got the handoff straight ahead. Hit at the line of scrimmage, but still churning his legs and pushes forward up to the 34-yard line for a 1-yard gain. That'll bring up 3rd and 6 for the Tigers.
Now this could be an interesting situation as well, because you have to think that this is probably 4-down territory for Pryor. So on 3rd and 6, Claremore might be thinking, okay, we're probably almost going to for sure see a pass here. But although Pryor's been a heavily running team, and even if they don't get it here, I think they're going to leave the offense on the field. So don't be shocked to see another run.
Pryor 3rd and 6 from their own 34. Olson in the pistol. Takes the snap, fakes the handoff, takes it himself up the middle, found a hole, got the first down and more to the 20-yard line. 1st and 10 Tigers approaching the red zone.
Well, that's just playing that read option to perfection from the quarterback Olson. Reading the defense, faking the handoff, finding the hole up the middle, and got what he needed and a lot more.
And they mark it at the 21. So 1:19 left in the first, a 7-0 Claremore lead. But the Pryor Tigers driving. 1st and 10, Olson in the pistol. Zebras show blitz, and here it comes. Screen to the right, dropped. Hit his receiver's hands, and then a late hit and a little extra contact, but no flags. Austin Lefebvre, the intended receiver. Incomplete, 2nd and 10.
And you got to be awfully careful there, because remember the rule, if it's thrown straight sideways, that is considered still a lateral and thus a rush and not a pass. I think that one was probably the right call, that it was thrown forwards, but always something to be leery about in high school football.
2nd and 10 from the 21. Chandler Olson, the junior quarterback, in the pistol. The snap, fakes the handoff, play action. Olson rolling right, the right-handed throw, and it's out of bounds. And correction, he was rolling left, but throwing on the far side for Austin Lefebvre. His 2nd target and 2nd incompletion, 3rd and 10.
Well, that's pretty interesting from Pryor. We see their first 9 plays be running plays, and then all of a sudden they mix in 2 consecutive passes. And I think more than anything, they were probably just looking for the element of surprise there. They ran it the first 9 times and thought, okay, we just ran a pass play. Claremore probably thinks we're going right back to the run and trying to catch him off guard with a pass.
3rd and 10 from the 21. Olson the pistol. Snap, handoff, Yates, angling left, hit in the backfield. They can't bring him down. And then a hit and stop at the 18 following a 3-yard gain. It'll be 4th and 7 in decision time for the Tigers from the Zebra 18.
Well, that's a nice job by the Claremore defense to really crash on that play because Derek Brazel had a hold of the back of Yates' jersey in the backfield. He wasn't able to bring him in, but Claremore never quit on the play. They never assumed Brazel was going to get him, and had they have stopped, he would have had the corner.
4th and 7, Tigers are going for it from the Zebra 18-yard line. Olsen in the pistol. Now getting calls from his coaches as Yates walks closer to the sidelines, and the Tigers will take the timeout. 18 seconds remaining first quarter, 7-0. Claremore leads. We'll take a quick break. This is Zebra Football on 91.3 RSU Radio and ClaremoreZebras.tv.
Fans on your feet. It's fourth down and 8.
4th and 7 from the 18. Olsen in the pistol. Takes a snap, flags and whistles will stop the play. Was it a false start? Yes, it was. False start for Pryor. Back him up 5. 4th and 7 becomes 4th and 12 and moves the ball out of the red zone.
Well, and that's where special teams play such a huge factor in high school football, because for a lot of teams, they might just cut their losses and say, all right, let's attempt the field goal on that 4th and 8. They wouldn't even have had the offense on the field, but you don't have a lot of kickers who can nail field goals from 40 yards just lying on the sidelines.
All right, here it is, 4th and 12, throw over the middle, tipped and falls incomplete. And the pass batted down by Derek Brazel. And the Zebras take over on downs, 1st and 10 from their own 23. 12 seconds remaining in the opening quarter. Zebras lead 7-0 over the Pryor Tigers.
You know, it's a new season, so we might as well say the motto of head coach Rob Gilbreth right off the bat. Big players make big plays in big games. The opening game of the season and trying to re-identify yourself, I'd say, is a pretty big game. And we've already seen 2 big plays by 2 big players. One from Alex Moore getting that fumble recovery on the opening drive, as well as the forced fumble. And then right there from Derek Brazel, who's a senior, knocking down that pass on 4th down and giving his team the ball once again.
Zebras 1st and 10 from their own 23. Here's the direct snap to Brazel. Around the right side, pushing a blocker, and he's got the ball across the 30, and he's going to be close to the 1st down. He's got it at the 33. 1st and 10 Zebras. And correction, it was Keegan Heisey with the carry.
And all of that speed from Keegan Heisey once again. You know what I like about Keegan Heisey is you'll see a lot of guys who have a lot of speed. They want to just tend to try to get to the outside as quick as they can. But Keegan Heisey is not that type of runner. He'll just take what he can get.
Into the first quarter, Claremore Zebras leading the Pryor Tigers 7-0 here in Claremore. We'll take a break, get you set for the second quarter. This is Zebra Football on 91.3 RSU Radio and ClaremoreZebras.tv.
Are turkey legs that the band is selling over to make concession. Wow, they're good. So go get you one. We're going to helping with his fun. Intended
Zebras 2nd and 10 from their own 33. And here's a runner going straight up the middle across the 35 to the 36-yard line for a 3-yard gain. That'll bring up 3rd and 7. Now they'll give him 4 to the 37. So 3rd and 6. So apologize for the issues. It's our first game too. That time Mike's just not turned back on following that break. Lots of talking we have to do with the station, with the ZTV crew, so on and so forth. So please excuse our errors as we get warmed up ourselves. We did come and cover a practice last week, make sure the equipment was working properly, and tried to do our best to knock off the rust, but there's still a little bit more to be knocked off. 3rd and 6 Zebras from their own 37-yard line. Here's a handoff going around left side. Riley Broucher across the 45 and carries the pile forward, but they will mark him at the 45. It's still good enough for the first down. 1st and 10 Claremore.
But a flag came down late. Right as Broucher got around that corner, a flag came down.
Personal foul, face mask against Claremore.
So a tough call there against the Zebras. Don't know if it affected the play or not. I didn't see it, but obviously it had to have happened right around the line of scrimmage. Broucher did not have a ton of blocking out in front of him. There were some seal-off blocks on the end, but not a lot out in front of Broucher as he tried to turn that corner.
So from the 24-yard line, 3rd down and 19 for the Zebras. From their own 24, leading 7-0 early in 2nd. And the junior quarterback, Aaron McCullough, breaks the huddle. He's back in the shotgun. Flags and whistles stop this one. Timeout taken by Claremore. 10:36 left in the second quarter. 7-0 Claremore leads. We've had a lot of breaks lately. Let's go ahead and keep it here. And remind you that this broadcast of Claremore Zebra football is sponsored by Carmick Pet Daycare, an indoor-outdoor heated and air-conditioned dog and cat motel. Carmick also offers a daycare, play center, and obedience training located 1.5 miles north of RSU on Highway 88 in Claremore. More information on their Facebook page. So thanks to Carmick Pet Daycare for being a sponsor of Claremore Zebra football. Let's check the scoreboard across the state. Here's Josh Haley.
Well, there's always some big games going on in Week 1, non-district. How about Bigsby, team that's looking for another 6A Division II state championship? They're up early on the Jinx Trojans, 3-0, that game in the first quarter. Bartlesville leading East Central 6-0. And an update, Choctaw leading Sapulpa 3-0. Sapulpa, of course, in this district with the Claremore Zebras. McAllister leading Muskogee really early, 16-0 Muskogee, a team that's expected to be much improved in 6A Division II this season. And the favorite in a lot of people's minds, the Booker T. Washington Hornets leading Midwest City 14-0 in the early going. Midwest City, another quality team in 6A Division II.
Zebras 3rd and 19. And moving some personnel around. Flags and whistles.
These types of things tend to go in spurts, don't they? We'll be cruising along, and then all of a sudden, penalty after penalty, delays in the game.
Well, apparently there's a lot to discuss here. False start Zebras. And Coach Gilbert wants an explanation.
Well, that's a tough situation for Claremore to be in, because that's 20 yards of penalties now consecutively for the Zebras. And when you have two running football teams, field position, oh so important, and now you're backing yourself up. If you're Claremore, I don't know if you look to pass here or not. I think that maybe you just cut your losses. Actually, 3rd and 25 now is what it amounts to. And perhaps just cut your losses, try to get some positive yardage, give yourself some better field position when you have to punt.
Need to get to the 43-yard line for the first down. 3rd and 24 from the 19. McCullough in the shotgun. Back to pass. Tucks it rolling right, looking. And throws a quick one, but his receiver wasn't ready for it. Kyle Morris turned around just as the ball was coming in Not enough time to react, and it's incomplete. 4th and 24.
And Morris was out there trying to seal off the block. Credit to him for understanding the situation. He knew that McCullough was under duress, and so a good job to seal off the block. And McCullough made the right read. Once he saw Morris release, then he tried to just give a quick dump off, but not enough reaction time for Morris. And Claremore is fortunate there. Morris did get a hand on it, and if his hands get up a little bit quicker, could have created a higher deflection. Defensive backs were looming.
4th and 24 from the 19. Brazel in punt formation. 2 players deep. Oh, this one's high and coming directly to the sidelines. Bounces at the 30. And will roll that at the 32. 1st and 10 for the Tigers from the Zebra 32-yard line. 10:20 left in the first half. 7-0 Claremore lead the Pryor Tigers.
And once again, that goes back to why field position is so important. If you look at Pryor, they're getting to start this drive at the 32-yard line, and they did absolutely nothing to earn it. And I'm not trying to take anything away from them, but Claremore had a personal foul penalty, then a false start after the timeout, and then you have the 13-yard punt. So Pryor given a huge gift right here and a huge opportunity to tie the football game.
Olsen and the Tigers, 1st and 10 from the Zebra 32. Here's the handoff to the big back going up the middle across the 30-yard line, and he'll be stopped at the 27. Spencer Henson with the carry. 5-yard gain. 4-yard gain, rather. 2nd and 5. Goodness, 2nd and 6. Is it still week 1?
Good-looking uniforms from the Pryor Tigers, though. Those are sharp. The white jerseys, the gray pants and helmets. Teams continue to get more creative with the unis.
2nd and 6 from the 28. Here's the handoff again to Henson. And a big pile will cover him up, but he'll still push forward to the 26-yard line for a 2-yard gain. 3rd and 4.
And once again, if you're Claremore, you can really chalk this up as being 4-down territory for Pryor. So anything could go on this 3rd down play. Pryor has passed it 3 times. All have been incomplete. And while they continue to line up multiple receivers, still don't really get the feeling that they're looking to pass. But Claremore's playing well off these receivers.
3rd and 4 from the Zebra 26. Here's Yates around the right side. Now up the middle across the 20 to the 15-yard line. 1st and 10 Tigers inside the red zone. And it's the correction, Spencer Henson.
Yeah, and as soon as he got that right side, he just turned it upfield. And once this guy gets a little bit of momentum, you can almost always tack on 3 or 4 more yards because he's so big, so strong, he's going to be tough to slow down.
Tigers 1st and 10. The Zebra 15. Olsen the snap. Here's Spencer. Up the middle, driving across the 10-yard line, pushing close to the 5. He'll be stopped, though, between the 6 and 7-yard line. So we'll call it 3rd and a short 2.
He picks up 8. Dropped down by Bywater.
2nd and 2, rather. Olsen in the pistol, takes a snap. Spencer right up the middle's got the 1st down, trying to get to the end zone. Going to be close, the ball pops loose. They'll say it was down. And it's just outside the goal line, 1st and goal for the Tigers.
Claremore was ready to claim another big gift inside their own red zone off of a Henson fumble, but the officials all over it.
1st and goal from just outside the goal line. Olsen trying to sneak it in, and he stops short. 2nd and goal.
This time, Olsen was ball carrier. He stopped short of the goal line and so we have 2nd and goal.
Well, I like the play call there from head coach Jeremy Branchcombe. Just lining up, going with that quick silent snap count, see if you can't get your quarterback in. But Olsen's not the biggest guy in the world, and Claremore was able to pinch in.
2nd and goal from just outside the goal line. Olsen again trying for the sneak, and he stopped short again. 3rd and goal.
Oh, this is very surprising. We look at Henson, 2 consecutive quarterback keepers. And sending Olsen in there to do that whenever you've got the big back like Hinson. I mean, have you ever seen a more prime goal line back than Spencer Hinson? Just standing back there waiting his turn.
Now they're in the pistol. 3rd and goal from just outside the goal line. Olsen the snap. And there's Spencer. And are they going to stop him? They stopped him. 4th and goal. Nope, touchdown. Late call. Very late call. But it is touchdown Tigers.
Well, the officials had the better look at it than I did. That's all I can say. But you're right, it was a very late call. And forward progress has to be clearly stopped. So if the officials were on top of it, credit to Spencer Hinson for keeping those feet moving and driving and proving how difficult it is to bring that big frame down.
Quint Ramsey will attempt the point after for Pryor. Snap, slow hold. The kick is up. And it's good. We're tied at 7. 6:59 left in the second quarter. This is Zebra Football on 91.3 RSU Radio and ClaremoreZebras.tv.
Zebra fans, get your programs out. Let's have a second quarter drawing. If you look at your program and it's a signed picture of number 6, Riley Boucher, please go to the Zebra Quarterback Club merchandise trailer to receive your Zebra gift, courtesy of the Quarterback Club. Claremore Athletics would like to recognize and express our appreciation to our team physicians, Gary Steinberg and Steve Hardage, for their continued support of keeping our Zebras healthy. Tonight's game sponsor is Summit Physical Therapy.
Back at Lanto Field in Claremore, 6:59 remaining in the first half. Claremore and Pryor all tied up at 7. Bryant Ferguson and Josh Haley back with the ZTV crew. Mike Brower back in the studio up on the hill at Rogers State University. Glad to have you guys with us for week 1 of high school football. And just a quick note for those of you watching on ZTV, whether you're watching live or in replay, no one was faked out by that kickoff, by the way. Quint Ramsey getting set to kick this one away. But you'll notice the time and score in the bottom right corner of your screen. This is not working properly, so don't depend on that. We'll try to say it as much as is reasonable. Here come the Zebras back at the 20-yard line, 25-30 near side, breaks 2 tackles and dives across the 35 to the 37-yard line, and a nice return from Hunter Thrasher.
Well, that's some pretty serious speed there from Hunter Thrasher. Coach Gilbert warned us that he would be back there receiving some kicks at times, he along with Keegan Heisey. And Thrasher did a nice job after not being able to handle it cleanly, giving Claremore a pretty good starting field position. Now the question becomes, can the Zebras come back and answer after Pryor gets the gift from the Zebras on a very tough offensive drive last time out?
1st and 10 from their own 37. Here's McCullough, but they'll give the direct snap to Heisey. Angle in right, 40-yard line, 45 down the near sideline, tripped up and stopped near midfield. 1st and 10 for the Zebras. Keegan Heisey with the 13-yard run.
Well, I don't know about you, but I'm not surprised at all of what we're seeing from Keegan Heisey tonight. This guy might not have been the premier back last season, but his abilities were not in question whatsoever coming into the night. First year starting, but a guy with so much potential, a ton of speed, and just knows how to run the football. And we have just seen good stuff from him time and time again throughout this first half.
1st and 10 Zebras from midfield. McCullough in the gun, but it's Heisey getting the direct snap. He'll push across the 50 and make it forward to the 45-yard line for a 5-yard gain. 2nd and 5.
Keegan Heisey up over 70 yards rushing already for the game, 74 to be exact. And the guy's got exactly 10 carries, so a pretty good average to start the night for Keegan Heisey. And credit to this Claremore offensive line. Some guys returning from last season, and good to see them opening up holes for Heisey and the rest of those backs early.
2nd and 5 for the Zebras from the Tiger 45-yard line. Here's another direct snap to a running back. Straight up the middle, he's got the first down across the 40 to the 39-yard line, and it's Kyle Morris with the carry.
Kyle Morris for the Claremore Zebras, the 6th player to carry the football tonight. But that's of no surprise, of course, coming in. Kyle Morris, one of those players expected to spell Keegan Heisey after a couple of big runs when he needs a brief breather, and does a good job of it. A player that we saw last year as well, and whenever he was in the game, he got a ton of effort from Kyle Morris.
Zebras 1st and 10 from Pryor's 39. Here is Morris again, angling right. 35-yard line to the 30. He's got the first down as a flag comes in, and then pulled down and stopped at the 21-yard line by Gage Mendeville. And we'll wait and check on the flag.
I tell you, looking at it from Kyle Morris' perspective, he came in, got his first carry of the night. It went for 6 yards, got Claremore a first down. And so needless to say, he was running with a lot of confidence there. But an obvious hold from Claremore, and that's their 3rd penalty here already in this 2nd quarter.
Couple of scores for you while we got a quick break here. Still showing Bixby 3-0 over Jinx. Union leading Carrollton, Texas 14-0. Well, that's South Lake Carroll, I should say, not Carrollton. Both do exist.
Both nice towns, too.
Yes, sir. Edmond North over Edmond Santa Fe 9-7, and Westmore over Moore 7-0. More scores as the night goes on. 1st and 16 for the Zebras. From the Tiger 45, Kyle Morris, the direct snap. Sweeping around the left side across the 40. 35, gets tripped up and stopped at the 33-yard line. It'll bring up 2nd and 4.
That was a pretty vengeful run by Kyle Morris and that Claremore offensive line. They were tagged up for that holding penalty, and it was clear that they were not happy with it, and they set out with something to prove on that run. Good job to get a lot of those yards back and set themselves up nicely with a 2nd and short.
Yeah, we'll call it 2nd and a long 3 from just outside the 32. McCullough in the gun. And now has Heisey to his right. He gets the direct snap. Now the handoff coming back the other way. Straight up the middle. 30 to the 25's got the first down. And Riley Broucher with a great carry up to the 21-yard line. 1st and 10 Zebras.
Boy, how about this from these Claremore players? It's just continues to turn into next man up for the Claremore Zebras. Broucher, Kyle Morris, Keegan Heisey, all stepping in there and getting big runs. And remember, it was Broucher who had that 38-yard long run on that Claremore touchdown drive.
And more 1st and 10 from Pryor's 21-yard line. Heisey the direct snap. Spinning free at the 15-yard line forward to the 13. It'll bring up 2nd and 8. Timeout taken by Pryor. 3:50 left in the first half. Tie game at 7 here in Claremore. We'll take a break. This is Zebra Football on 91.3 RSU Radio and ClaremoreZebras.tv. Back at Claremore with 3:51 left here in the 2nd quarter. Claremore and Pryor all tied up at 7. Glad you've tuned in on 91.3 FM or logged on to ClaremoreZebras.tv. And both of these outlets will cover all Zebra games this year, both home and away. The next 2 games on the road in Arkansas. More on that in a little bit, but we'll have you covered here if you're unable to make it. If you're away from your computer, we got you covered on radio. Maybe you got to drive across town, take the kids somewhere, pick up dinner. Whatever the case is, tune in on radio. Or if you're by the computer or mobile device, ClaremoreZebras.tv. And here's Heisey, the direct snap. Flags come in as he carries it forward to the 10-yard line for what would have been a 4-yard gain on 2nd and 3.
I believe it's going to be
go ahead.
A face mask against Pryor.
Okay.
Because Ethan Jester set the block on that play for Claremore, and I thought I saw a lot of face masks being grabbed there, and Jester got up and looked at the official, grabbed his face mask, and the official nodded his head yes.
But they did call the chop block on the Tigers.
Well, either
So
way, for the
first and
Claremore
goal.
Zebras, they're going to be happy with it.
It will be first and goal for Claremore from the 5. McCullough in the shotgun. Heisey to his left. McCullough the snap. Now the handoff coming the other direction. It's Riley Broucher going for the end zone. It's going to be close. Touchdown, Claremore. Riley Broucher.
But a flag came in late from the back judge. So it'll be interesting to see what happened. It was a long lateral run for Riley Broucher. And anytime you get your offensive lineman turned sideways, always put yourself at risk of those blocks. Without a doubt, it's going to go against Claremore and back him up.
So it's first and goal from the 12.
I'll tell you what, as soon as that call was made, Keegan Heisey was raising his arms in the air. He was trying to keep this offense pumped up. I love the energy from this team. They are not letting things get them down.
McCullough in the gun, but they'll do the snap direct to Heisey. Misses one tackle in the backfield. Now angling right to the 10, 5. Touchdown, Claremore. Keegan Heisey, the 12-yard run.
Well, that's what you want to see from your player. Mentioned after that penalty, Heisey was not fazed. It would have been easy to hang your head and complain about it. No, not for Keegan Heisey. He was raising his hand saying, let's go, let's get this thing done. Nobody complained, nobody worried about that call, and did a great job finding the holes on that play. Good blocking on the outside by the Zebras to retake the lead.
Jacob Teeter to attempt the point after. Noah Grimmett will hold. Extra point is up, and it's good. 14-7, Claremore retakes the lead. 3:29 left in the first half. We'll take a break. This is Zebra Football on 91.3 RSU Radio and ClaremoreZebras.tv.
With 3:29 left in the half, Claremore goes up 14-7.
Jacob Teeter kicking off for Claremore following the touchdown to regain the lead. It'll be brought in at the 5-yard line. Pryor angling left at the 20. Now turns straight ahead, has room to the 30. Near side, breaks a tackle at the 40. Near side 50 and knocked out of bounds at the 45-yard line. Austin Lefebvre with the return and moving it into Zebra territory.
Well, that's a big-time return by Lefebvre, and I was just about to say that's the best kickoff that we have seen from Teeter. I think even in the pregame kicks, that was a great kickoff. And we know now why it was such a good-looking return.
Yep, there is a flag down on the play near the 40-yard line. We said he broke a tackle there. May have been a little more to it.
So the block in the back. And it was already after he had gained significant yardage on the return, but they continue to back themselves up.
Illegal use of hands blocking the back is a call.
So it brings it back to the Tigers' 29-yard line.
Pryor will have it at their own 29.
So again, 3:20 left in the first half. Claremore leading Pryor by 7 in Claremore. 1st and 10 from their own 29-yard line. And it's the junior quarterback, Chandler Olson, back in the pistol. Takes a snap, the give to Yates. Hit in the backfield, spun around and stopped for no gain on the play. And very nice stop on the play from Roger Starkey.
Well, and Roger Starkey is a guy that played a significant role on this team a season ago. contributed for Claremore in a big way on that defensive line, and one of the first guys to come out of head coach Rob Gilbert's mouth when we started talking about the defensive line, proving why right there.
Tigers 2nd and 10 from their own 29. Here's the throw over the middle. Sliding attempt made, but it's incomplete. Bounced off of the turf. And that one intended for Dawson Fleet. So Olson's pass incomplete, 3rd and 10.
Well, now if you're Pryor, you put yourself in a pretty susceptible situation. Pryor 0 for 4 tonight on passing attempts. So 3rd and 10, needless to say, not really their cup of tea. If they don't pick this up, they're putting themselves in a dangerous situation. Claremore with 2 timeouts and a lot of time before half.
3rd and 10, Olson to throw. Angles right. Jumping catch made at the 38-yard line, and he's got the first down across the 40 to the 41-yard line. Pass completed to Dawson Fleet.
Well, Claremore's got to be stronger defensively on that play and understand the situation. They had it covered, but it was just a perfect throw and a perfect catch to Fleek on the first completion of the night. But the issue was Claremore had 2 defenders there, the corner and the safety. And on that play, you have to know that you're going to get that quick throw to Fleek.
It was kind of an awkward hit and stop, and he did limp off of the field. 1st and 10 for the Tigers from their own 41, and then an official's timeout on the field. So 2:35 to play in the first half. Claremore by 7. 1st and 10 Zebras from their own 41. Olson in the pistol, takes the snap, backs up to pass. Pump fakes, now rolling right. Olson on the run, throws for the far sidelines, and it's out of bounds and incomplete. Austin Lefebvre, the intended receiver. It's 2nd and 10.
It's interesting that Pryor has really strung together their pass attempts tonight. It's been the first 9 carries of the game were runs, and then we saw 2 consecutive pass attempts. We saw 2 more consecutive on their last drive, and then 2 more here. So whenever they decide to pass, they do it in bunches. And not sure if they're thinking hurry up here, but there's still plenty of time. You're close to midfield, 2:23 to go, and still for Pryor, 1 timeout to work with. And remember, in high school, clock stops on first down.
2nd and 10 from their own 41. Olson rolling right, throws right, and diving attempt. And the catch is made at the 48-yard line. Good enough for the first down as they move into Zebra territory.
Well, a good pass and catch. Nice job by the wide receiver to come back and get it. That was Gage Mendeville.
First down, Pryor.
1st and 10 from the Zebra 48. Clock running with 2:08 to go in the half. Olson in the pistol, takes the snap, rolling left. The right-handed throw across his body and a completion made to the 42-yard line, and he's hit and knocked out of bounds there. And a nice completion to Nathan Ingles. But it's not the first time we've seen Chandler Olson throw across his body tonight, but I believe the first completion we have seen on that, up to the 44-yard line for about a 4-yard gain, 2nd and 6.
And it's pretty clear that Olson's starting to feel more comfortable throwing the football as well. He was 0 for his first 4 in this game, and since then is 3 of 4. 31 yards.
2nd and 6. From the Zebra 43, here's the handoff. Yates up the middle, finds some room, got the first down, and the ball's knocked loose. Loose ball, Zebras got it. They're bringing it back, 25-yard line to the 30 far side, 35-yard line. Zebras on the run, and hit and stopped at the 45. 1st and 10 Zebras from their own 45-yard line. And a flag on the play near the 48.
And the question becomes, was it on the return by Claremore, or did it happen before the fumble took place?
Dead ball, personal foul. Zebras, dead ball, personal foul.
Okay, offsetting personal fouls. First down for Claremore, and it was Hunter Thrasher. I beg your pardon, Jason Deckard returning the fumble.
The guy that poked it out was Austin Short. Nice job by him to come up from behind and just a textbook play to punch it out, get a big force of momentum with that arm and knock it out of there.
All right, 1st and 10 Zebras from their own 44. Lead by 7 with 1:45 left in the first half. McCullough in the gun, takes the snap. Rolling right. Here comes the rush. McCullough's going to run. 45-yard line, 50. Throws a stiff arm at the 45, then gets hit and stopped there. And it's good enough for the first down. Hit and stop from Austin Lefebvre.
You know, Austin McCullough, we didn't know a whole lot about his legs and what he could do. He was kind of tabbed as your traditional pocket passing quarterback, but he's had a couple of very nice runs tonight and showing us that if he needs to get out of the pocket and go with it, he can do it.
They actually spotted McCullough's run at the 47, so it's a yard short, 2nd and 1. Here is the snap to Heisey. McCullough's going to block for him. There's the first down across the 45. Another block from Aaron McCullough, and Heisey up to the 36-yard line. Great teamwork from those two. 1st and 10 Zebras as they move into Tiger territory.
And that run puts Keegan Heisey over the century mark for the night. He now has 109 yards rushing on just 14 carries. So what a night so far for Keegan Heisey.
1 minute to play in the first half. Zebras lead by 7 and have 1st and 10 from the Tigers' 36-yard line. Aaron McCullough in the shotgun. Here's the direct snap to Heisey. Looking around the right side now. He's got McCullough for a blocker. There's the block at the 25. Heisey across the 20 to the 18-yard line. Eventually stopped by Chandler Olson. 1st and 10 for the Zebras inside the red zone.
And how about that? He had 2 blockers out in front of him. One of them was Aaron McCullough, your quarterback. So that's got to be something that fires your entire team up to see your quarterback out there blocking.
Timeout taken by Claremore. 45 seconds left in the first half. 14-7. Claremore leading Pryor in Claremore. And at halftime, the athletics director for the Claremore Zebras hoping to join us. He's got about a million things to do here. It's week 1 at the stadium, too, if you know what I mean. It's not everything working properly, but we think we'll get a couple minutes with Brent Payne to talk about the ruling that came down from the OSSAA this week regarding Claremore, whether they're in 6A or 5A. So we'll talk more about that at halftime. But next Friday night, road trip to Rogers, Arkansas, near the shores of beautiful Beaver Lake. Kickoff at 7. We'll have pregame set for you about 6:40. Looking forward to the road trip with you next weekend.
Oh, I am too. Always fun to get on the road and talk football on our way to football. But people asking the question perhaps, why is Claremore playing 2 teams from the state of Arkansas? And it goes right along the lines of the topic you mentioned earlier, the split and the way the splits are determined from 6A to 5A and all the classifications. Claremore thought that there was no way they would be pushed back up to 6A a couple of years ago. And then that ADM, the average daily membership, came out, and Claremore by less than 10 students was up into 6A instead of down to 5A. By that time, they had already scheduled all their opponents, and 2 of those non-district teams ended up being district teams since they got bumped to 6A. Everybody had already made their schedules, so the only teams left were from Arkansas.
1st and 10 for the Zebras from the Tigers' 18. Keegan Heisey, the direct snap. He's got McCullough for a blocker again, but Heisey tripped up and stopped in the backfield at the 20-yard line, I should say, for a 2-yard loss. It'll bring up 2nd and 12, clock ticking with 33 seconds left in the half.
And you just can't have any panic here if you're Claremore. Yes, the clock is ticking down. Yes, you've only got 1 timeout, but stay focused on the task at hand.
2nd and 12 from the 20. McCullough wants to throw, and it's a little low and incomplete. And that one was intended for Ethan Jester.
And very rarely can you say that was a good incompletion, but that was a good incompletion. It would have only gained Claremore about 3 yards, and they would have had to have burned their final timeout. Now you're looking at 3rd and 12. There's still 20 seconds on the clock, and you're going to have 1 timeout in your pocket and an injury on the field.
Got a timeout for an injury with 19 seconds left. Let's go ahead and take a 30-second break. Claremore leads Pryor 14-7. This is Zebra Football on 91.3 RSU Radio and ClaremoreZebras.tv.
Hey folks, next Friday here at Lanto Field, we're going to do a 9/11 remembrance, and we're inviting you to attend. I'm sorry, at 9 a.m.
That's terrible.
Also, don't forget, Roberts Auto Group is the proud sponsor of the Battle Highway 20, and they will be awarding 1 player from each team with a Player of the Game scholarship. Big round
Claremore
of applause
Zebras leading
for the
14-7
Pryor
over the Pryor Tigers. And an injury timeout for Dakota Day, the senior linebacker. and walking off the field under his own power. So we'll resume play here shortly. 3rd and 2 for the Zebras from their own, correction, from the Tigers' 20-yard line. And again, just a quick note for those of you on ZTV, the time and score doing all kinds of funny things, so not quite working properly, so we'll announce the time is right. Looks like the scoreboard for the most part has been keeping up, but if you see some issues there, that's what's going on. They've been on the phone with support. This is all new software that these students are getting used to again this year. Really doing a great job working on the fly here. 3rd and 12 for the Zebras from the Tiger 20. Little bit of confusion in the backfield. Nope, straight ahead run. Up close. It was just a timeout taken. So it was confusion in the booth anyway. What'd you see happening there?
Well, Jester he was the up back and got that quick handoff. Nobody really saw it happen, and he squirted through but didn't get the first down. Thus, the clock kept running, and then they took the timeout.
Gotcha.
So they'll come back, and it'll be about 3rd and 4 from the 12, just inside the 12-yard line.
All right, so the clock stops with 14 seconds to go.
4th and 4, by correction, yes. But a good job by Jester to get that positive yardage, and if you're Claremore, you have to be thinking go for it here. The way that the extra points have gone tonight, you've made both of them. Credit to Jacob Teeter for that. But head coach Rob Gilbreth kind of told us coming in, this is about his range right here. Claremore is going to bring him onto the field and at least look like they're going to attempt the field goal here. And this is right about his range. He said he can probably be good from about 30. This would be a 28-yard field goal.
28. Just a very slight wind, maybe at his back. Kicking from the left hash mark towards the west. Snap. They're going to fake it. And the holder rolling right. It's Grimmett. In trouble. Nearly a horse collar. Then hit as he throws for the corner of the end zone. Overthrown and incomplete. So that'll stop the clock with 5 seconds remaining and turn the ball over on downs. 1st and 10 Tigers. And one would think they'll take a knee here.
Well, that's a play that only Noah Grimmett would be able to pull off. Coach Gilbert was talking about the strength that he has as a quarterback, and any other quarterback probably would have been tackled on that play. He was able to fend off one tackler and at least keep the play alive and give it a chance. So credit to him. But Pryor, credit to them as well. They were all over that fake field goal.
Tigers 1st and 10 from their own 12. Grimmett under center, and he'll take the knee. That's going to do it for the first half. 14-7, Claremore leading Pryor in Claremore on week 1. We're going to take about a 3-minute break. We'll add up some stats. We'll get some scores. We'll be back with those and the halftime show. Athletics Director Brent Payne joining us at halftime to talk about Claremore moving back down to Class 5A next year. This is Zebra Football on 91.3 RSU Radio and ClaremoreZebras.tv.
Ladies and gentlemen, now entering the field for your halftime entertainment, Pryor High School proudly presents the Pride of Tigers.
Back at halftime in Claremore, Zebras leading the Pryor Tigers 14-7. Bryant Ferguson, Josh Haley joining you here for halftime. Hope to be joined shortly by Athletics Director Brent Payne from Claremore High School Athletics Department. But until then, let's go over stats after these first two quarters that the Zebras lead. And then we'll get you to some scores from around the area in a little bit. Here's Josh Haley with some stats.
Well, I think the most impressive number that jumps out right off of the stat sheet is Keegan Heisey for the Claremore Zebras. Knew what this guy could do, got to see him some last year, but a lot of expected things out of Keegan Heisey this year, and boy has he answered the bell. 125 yards on just 16 carries, and of course, that electrifying touchdown run, that sweep to the right side. So a nice night so far for Keegan Heisey and the Zebras. Has to have them feeling good about going into the second half. For the Zebras as a team, 213 rushing yards, and for Claremore, that comes on 25 carries, so averaging just over 8 yards a carry. I think they'll take that. On passing, not too much as expected. 1 for 5 on passing attempts for 10 yards, and that one completion was a big one. It came on the opening drive for the Zebras, a 10-yard connection on third down between quarterback Aaron McCullough and Will Hines, who made a sliding catch in the end zone for the Zebras' first touchdown. For Claremore, 10 first downs. They were penalized 4 times for a total of 38 yards, and Claremore punted twice, 33 yards on the first, 13 on the second. For the Pryor Tigers, we didn't expect to see them pass the football much, but when they did, it came in spurts, and in their hurry-up offense towards the end of the half is when they really started to unleash it even more. But overall, 8 passing attempts for Pryor. They completed 3 of those, including 3 of the final 4. 3 of 8 overall, for a total of 31 yards, all of those coming from Olson, the primary quarterback for these Pryor Tigers. The running back Spencer Henson, big back there for Pryor, was able to rip off some big runs early. 72 yards total for Spencer Henson. That came on 9 carries. The other primary back was Alex Yates, who was in there. 39 yards for Alex Yates on only 5 carries. So a lot of production out of those primary backs. And then the quarterback, Olson, was able to get involved as well, and he rushed for 26 yards for the Pryor Tigers. All in all for Pryor, it came to 137 rushing yards in that first half. That was on a total of 16 carries for Pryor. 3 different players had those 3 receptions. Fleek, Mendeville, and Ingles, 15, 12, and 4 yards. For Pryor, 11 first down. They were penalized 3 times for a total of 19 yards, and just 1 punt. It was a good one of 45 yards. Your first half stats as Claremore leads 14-7.
All right, we're going to take a quick break here at halftime. We're going to call an audible as well. We'll have the principal for Claremore High School, Todd Stidley, joining us at halftime to talk about this move for Claremore from 6A to 5A. Had a little something to do with it, by the way. We'll get more on that after the break. 14-7, Claremore leads at half. This is Zebra Football on 91.3 RSU Radio and ClaremoreZebras.tv.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's give a big round of applause for the Pride of Fire.
Sorry. Back at halftime in Claremore, 14-7, the Claremore Zebras leading the Pryor Tigers here at halftime. Got a guest, principal for Claremore High School, Todd Stidley, joining us, and also a former board member for the OSSAA, and a president a couple years back as well. Appreciate your time here at halftime, and a little bit happening with Claremore and the OSSAA these last couple of weeks. Why don't you tell us about it?
It's been a busy couple of weeks. The unofficial ADM came out, and it was brought to our attention that there may be some discrepancies. So we called the association and asked them to look into it, and they did that, and come to find out there were discrepancies, and the OSSAA board heard our case and voted on behalf of us 14-0, and then there was a special board meeting where Oklahoma City presented their case, and it worked out for us. You know, we'll see what happens. Right now, we're happy, very happy with the results.
All right, so any chance for any more appeals or any movement? This is a final decision, and there's nothing that can be done going forward.
It's final with the board. Now, you can always file for a temporary injunction or something like that. They could. Hopefully they won't do that. I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt. They have a new superintendent this year, a huge school district, and a lot of kids to take care of and account for. And the rule is, and I have it memorized now, on page 65, section 35, any school district that receives funds for alternative students must count them towards OSSAA ADM. Well, we found that there were approximately 550 to 600 kids that were unaccounted for in the Oklahoma City district. We requested an audit. We went through the numbers and found that those kids were at a school called Emerson High School, actually Emerson Alternative School, and so they went back and found where those kids, their home high school, I believe 90-something from Capitol Hill, and so, you know, we're not accusing anybody. We think there were mistakes made, and I think they've gone on for quite some time, and we're not afraid of 6A. If we're 6A, we'll go 6A, and we'll hook up and get after it, but we want everybody to play by the same rules, and as it turned out, we're classified as 5A school, and that's great, and it'll be good for our community, great for our kids, and we're excited about it.
And as this process went on, I think so many people got a chance to see how this was approached, and not once did anybody from Claremore, including yourself, ever point any fingers at anybody, including the OSSAA. It was simply, here's the rules, and here's the way that we see it, and we just want to see the right thing done, and that speaks volume to the integrity. And I can only speak for myself, but I think that that's got to be very pleasing to the community around Claremore to see the way that this was handled.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that, and Claremore's a great community, and our kids are awesome. Our community's awesome. We're going to fight for our kids if we feel like we have a reason to do that. And, you know, again, we weren't trying to blame anybody. We just wanted the OSSAA to enforce their policies. And really, it was clear-cut in our eyes. And obviously, to the 14 board members, they agreed with us because they voted 14-0 in our favor. But, you know, I think there will be some changes made in some of the policies moving forward with the OSSAA, and that's fine. And, you know, we're just excited to be in 5A, and I think we can cause some damage and make some noise in Class 5A.
14-7, Claremore leading Pryor at halftime here in Claremore. So it was such a last-second move before last season, bump up to 6A when you found out that in this football season we scheduled 2 with some Arkansas teams.
Right.
Does this give you enough lead time to find teams in the proper class to get things scheduled and keep it in state of Oklahoma for next year?
Well, nothing's official yet as far as the districts go. I know the coaches have been sent some correspondence through the Oklahoma Football Coaches Association. I know they voted on some various districts. So yes, there is time. Now it's last moment because, you know, everybody had their districts and everybody is scrambling a little bit. And I would like to commend Coach Gilbreth because if everything holds the way it is, it looks like we have our schedule set for next year, hopefully. So it's caused a little chaos, but everybody has really taken it in stride, all the schools in 5A and 6A, and they agree. They want everybody to play by the same rules and want everything to be done right. So it's not been a tremendous headache or however you want to call it. So.
Well, if it comes to it in the non-district schedule to where all the Oklahoma teams are tied up, I'm sure there's something that can be found, I don't know, in Hawaii or something.
Yeah.
ZTV RSU Radio, happy to make the trip with you guys. We'll no problems there.
Hey,
So I just want to throw that out there for you.
It's a deal. If we end up in Hawaii playing, you guys, you'll be the first ones on the plane.
Or the boat, however
Yeah,
we go.
exactly.
After 1 year completed, after 6A made the split from Division I and Division II, you got 2 divisions now. 1 season complete after that. It seemed, at least from a big sports fan's perspective and long time in the state of Oklahoma and covering high school sports, that it was an overwhelming success to have that extra division. Is that the way it was viewed by a lot of people who are involved in the OSSAA?
Yes, it does. It gives. There's a lot more opportunity, and it's really almost unfair when a school the size of Claremore with 1,300 students is competing against Broken Arrow with almost 5,000. And there's been a lot of different formulas drawn up, and we felt like, I say we, I was on the board at the time, but we felt like that was the best way to do it. And it's because it's such a contact sport, and that's why it hasn't gone to all the other sports. And I think it will stay for a while, and it's been very positive.
14-7, Claremore leads at halftime. Now let's talk about your time on the board, your time as president. Just take us back to the start. How does one get involved in the OSSAA at all? Your background, what was it that took you to there? How did you get elected to the board and eventually president?
Well, they contacted me and actually appointed me to the board my first year. I have a coaching background in wrestling and football, and knew several of the board members, knew the executive director, Ed Shakely, and so they asked me to serve the first year, and then I was elected by our member schools for 2 terms, and you can only serve 2 terms. And I did that. Great experience. They meet once a month, and I really got to see how small school people operate and big school people operate, and a tremendous learning experience for me, and made a lot of really good friends.
Now, at the time you were serving, what was the hot button issue?
Well, there were several. There was the Oklahoma City Douglas issue, or the Douglas Locust Grove issue last year, and then there was an issue with Jinx a few years ago, and the previous executive director had some issues, and the private school issue, and the 6A Division I, II issues.
Just to name a few.
Just to name a few, yes, definitely. But a very good experience, but I'm glad my time's up.
All right. Well, I'm sure. 14-7, Claremore leads here at halftime. Being the principal of this school, I know you get to communicate with your athletes a lot. We've got the fall sports. Obviously, football started tonight. We've got softball in full swing. Tell us how things are going with softball and your other fall sports.
We're really off to a great start. Softball's having a good year, and they're 6A this year and next year because it's a 2-year district. So even with us going back down, they're 6A. They're doing a great job. They fight hard. They lost to Broken Arrow, the defending Class 6A state champion, last week, but we've beaten Bartlesville. We've beaten some really good teams in 6A. They're doing well, very young. I believe they're starting a freshman pitcher. So good things to come in softball. Volleyball's having a great season. I think they've only lost 2 or 3 matches, so they're doing well. The cross-country team, they're doing very well. Their hopes are to finish in the top 5 in the state. And then cheerleading, their regionals is coming up soon, and they're always good, and we expect them to compete for a gold trophy as well.
Right. And then not to mention the Academic Bowl team. Seems like every year Josh and I are here on ZTV or on RSU Radio announcing another state championship.
That's right. Now they are definitely reloading. We've got a tremendous tradition, 9 years in a row in the top 2 in state competition, and we expect the same. We lost a lot of good kids last year. We've got a couple kids coming back that'll be seniors, but we'll reload, as they say, and compete and do well.
We've got a lot to be proud of in this school. We thank you for your time here at halftime. Claremore leading 14-7 on week 1 over the Pryor Tigers. We'll take a break, check in with the scoreboard, then get you set with keys to the second half. This is Zebra Football on 91.3 RSU Radio and ClaremoreZebras.tv.
Welcome to the finest Mexican restaurant of all Claremore. Here at El Banquete, we assure you of our fresh food and produce handled by our finest cooks and servers. Come on down and enjoy some delicious and complimentary chips and salsa. We also offer you free Wi-Fi with your 15% discount with your student ID. We take the liberty of making our fresh guacamole directly at your table. So make your way down to El Banquete Mexican Grill today, located across the street from Sonic on Will Rogers Boulevard.
It is assumed that 90% of teenagers drink at parties, when in all reality, only 15% do.
In as little as 12 months, with a diploma from Spartan College, you could have a career in aviation and beyond. At Spartan, you don't just study airplanes, you're surrounded by them. Some 40 at our flight campus, another 20 at our technology campus. This is a college where you can pilot planes, repair planes, learn everything there is to know about planes, inside and out.
Six A 2 scores.
Bartlesville leading 5A East Central 6-0. Also in 6A Division 2, Enid at Ponca City still deadlocked at 0. That scoring update from very early in that game. Choctaw up over Sapulpa 10-6 in the second quarter. Booker T. Washington an early first quarter lead over Midwest City 14-0, perhaps the most anticipated game in 6A2 of the evening. McAllister is up 19-14 over Muskogee. McAllister, a 5A school in Muskogee, expected to be one of the more improved teams in 6A Division 2 in 2015. Edmond Deer Creek, a 5A school, up over Stillwater 14-0 at the half. Fayetteville, Arkansas, up on Lawton Ike 27-0. That is a second quarter score. And Lawton expected to be at the top of 6A2 once again this season. 21-14 lead over Salina, Kansas in the second quarter.
All right, dropping down to 5A again, some scores from last night. How about Oologah with the win over Collinsville, 30-24. Nice victory for the Mustangs. Lawton Mac over Clinton, 33-7. And Josh Haley's alma mater falling to Sand Springs, a district opponent of these Claremore Zebras. 61-8, the Sandites picked up the win last night. Games in progress. Bartlesville right now leading East Central 6-0, and I apologize if some of these scores that we'll go through are repeats because different classes play each other in these non-district games. Bishop McInnes shutting out Shawnee 31-zip. Anadarko over Chickasha 22-0. Wagner and Coweta. Wagner leads this one 35-13. Duncan leading Guthrie 16-8. And looking on down the line, Bishop Kelly over Edison 7-zip. Carl Albert shutting out El Reno 21-0. Deer Creek over Stillwater 14-zip. We mentioned McAllister and Muskogee 19-14. McAllister with the lead there. And Sky took over Piedmont 21-0. Class 4A scores.
In Class 4A, Broken Bow leading Valiant 7-0. Noble up over Tecumseh 21-12. Metro Christian leading Noah 28-0 in the first quarter. The battle between the Halls in Tulsa. Holland Hall 14-7 leading Cassia Hall in the third quarter. At halftime, Glenpool leading Berry Hill 23-7 in a highly anticipated game. And also, Ada leading Ardmore 3-2. That is not a incorrect score. 3-2 in the second quarter. Ada over Ardmore. Catoosa leading Salisaw 10-0 in the second quarter. And of course, you mentioned that halftime score. Wagner up big over 5A Coweta 35-13. Also, Jay trailing Veneta 21-14 in the second quarter. Oklahoma City Southeast 20-0 lead over Weatherford in the first quarter. Hera, who is a team that's expected to be very solid this season, leading Seminole 14-7 in the second quarter. Blanchard up over Tuttle 7-6 at halftime. And Anadarko up 20-7 on Chickasha. That is a halftime score.
All right, we're at halftime in Claremore, 14-7. Claremore leads. Prior teams taking their warm-ups now. So one quick look at some of the scores from close to home in Class 3A. We've got Claremore Sequoia leading Perkins Tryon 7-0. Also saw Inola over Chelsea 22-0. And let me see if I can find, I had one more from close to home just a couple of seconds ago. We've got Veneta leading Jay 21-14. But it looks Locust Grove last night with a big win over Salina, 70-6. So glad Salina got to score in that one. 14-7. Claremore leading at halftime, and we'll take a 2-minute break. Correction, let's take a 1-minute break, come back for keys to the second half. This is Zebra Football on 91.3 RSU Radio and ClaremoreZebras.tv.
Tickets are $1 or $6 for 5. Drawing to be done at the end of the third quarter, and you must be present to win. Also, they are taking orders for beautiful spirit bracelets and dance at the dance team spirit table. On your feet, fans, here come your leaders.
In Claremore, 14-7. Claremore leads Pryor. Quickly to Josh Haley for keys to the second half.
Well, I think for the Claremore Zebras, you've got to keep that run game going. That's what worked for you in the first half. Continue to run the football, sustain drives, and hold on to that lead. Claremore, keep in mind, had 2 takeaways in that first half, but yet it's only a 1-touchdown game. So as well as this defense has played, this game is far from being out of reach. I think if you're the Claremore Zebras, sustaining yourself on offense is a good thing, but your defense has got to continue to play well, whether it's getting another turnover or forcing some big plays, getting those big stops like they have on fourth down. This defense is going to have to come up with a few more big plays if Claremore is going to come away with it.
All right, so the Tigers will be kicking it to the Zebras to get things started here in the second. Jonathan Cox, one of those deep to receive for Claremore. Kicking away for the Tigers is Quint Ramsey. Ramsey's right-footed kick, a low-line drive. Bounces at the 5 and will be brought in by Cox. Straight ahead 10, now angling left, 15-yard line to the 20. Looking for anything up the middle and comes down to the turf at the 24-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Zebras from there.
Well, for Claremore, seeing so many players touch the football and be effective doing so has got to be a really nice change of pace for this Claremore coaching staff. All the injuries last year, and you see all these different guys getting involved in the offense. Keegan Heisey, of course, the star of the first half with 125 rushing yards on just 16 carries and the touchdown. You had Riley Broucher with 48 yards on just 2 carries. Aaron McCullough, Jester, and Kyle Morris all with carries of over 8 yards.
First and 10 Zebras from their own 24. Here is Morris straight ahead. Across the 30, runs into a tackler, but makes a spin move at the 32. Falls forward to the 34-yard line. Is going to be close to the first down. And it will depend on the spot. Let's see where they put it. First down, Claremore. And a 10-yard run from Kyle Morris.
Well, that's impressive from Morris. Only his 3rd carry of the game. 6, 11, and 10 yards. The results for Kyle Morris on his 3 carries. Good production from the senior.
Zebras first and 10 from their own 34-yard line. Snap to McCullough. Handoff coming around the left side to the 35 across the 40. And breaks free across midfield to the 45-yard line. Riley Broucher to the Tigers' 42. First and 10 Zebras.
Well, Riley Broucher, just like Kyle Morris, hasn't touched the ball a ton tonight, but when he has made the most of his opportunities, and he's going to come up a little bit slow. Certainly hope he's okay. But another big run. Officially, that'll end up going for about 24 yards.
Zebras first and 10 from Pryor's 43. McCullough in the gun. Kyle Morris to his right. Snap straight to Morris. Got McCullough for the blocker. Morris cuts upfield now to the 35-yard line forward to the 32. First and 10 Zebras, an 11-yard gain.
Well, could you have asked for a better start here so far to this second half? Claremore just coming out and running all over this Pryor defense the same way they did in the first half.
Claremore first and 10 from Pryor's 31. Snap to Morris. And gets hit at the 30, but still manages to get forward to the 27-yard line for a 5-yard gain. Brings up second and 5. 10.5 to play in the third. 14-7, Claremore leads Pryor.
And Bryant, for this Claremore team, out of 30 rushes to this point in the game, 14 of those have gone for at least 10 yards. It's an eye-popping statistic, especially when you consider that we are on the opening drive of the second half.
Zebras second and 5 from Pryor's 26. Here's McCullough breaking free from one tackle now to the 30, 25-yard line. McCullough spun around and eventually pulled down at the 23-yard line. So he'll be, just depending on that spot, we don't have the best. We've got McCullough in some pain.
Well, and one player is holding onto his leg. Jester holding onto his leg, almost like it would be a cramp or something. But you hope certainly that that's all that it is for McCullough. And it's not something worse than that. It's not uncommon to see cramps in the first week of the season, and I'm surprised we haven't seen any more tonight. Of course, you expect for the first few weeks of the season that you'll see relatively warm weather in the state of Oklahoma. That's usually how it goes. And so as much as you practice and get into scrimmages, it's nothing like a full-blown game. And as you move into this second half, everybody's playing hard. The number of plays that you have run continue to get higher and higher, and those cramps are bound to come.
14-7, Claremore leading with 9:47 remaining in the injury timeout for McCullough. He'll come back to the sidelines to get some help, but good to have you with us on ZTV. No matter where you are, saw a rather neat tweet at halftime. If you can't be in this stadium watching Friday Night Football, what better place to be in the U.S. Tennis Open in New York? Shelby Choate from Claremore, who you may know of singing the national anthems at the basketball games, sent a picture of her watching ZTV on her phone from the U.S. Open. Pretty cool. Congratulations. Glad you got to go to see that, Shelby. And thanks for sending the tweet to ZTV. And if you follow C Zebras TV, at C Zebras TV, you'll be able to get to see that tweet and the picture on Twitter. Pretty cool. First and 10 for the Zebras As they rush the ball now, we've got another injury.
And that
It
does
looks like
not
another
look like a cramp.
Yeah.
Keegan Heisey's limping off the field for Claremore, and then a player down for Pryor.
So the ball forward to the 21-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10 Zebras from there. But an injury timeout. MoreClaremore.com is a proud supporter of Claremore Zebra football and this broadcast. More Claremore provides positive community journalism, a community calendar, and videos of events from around the Claremore area. Be more, do more, MoreClaremore.com.
You know, it's interesting looking at this Pryor team and the players that have been the playmakers tonight on offense. Quarterback Chandler Olson played sparingly last season, but when you look at the players that have been the key factors in the running game, it's been a lot of different guys, particularly when you look at the big man, Spencer Henson, and then, of course, Alex Yates has been involved there as well. But that was Chandler Olson who was limping off the field, so that's a huge, huge injury for the Pryor Tigers.
1st and 10 Claremore from the Pryor 21-yard line. And here's the snap to Morris. In trouble and pulled down in the backfield behind the 25-yard line for a big loss. He'll be stopped at the 26 for a 5-yard loss, 2nd and 15.
Brian, only the 3rd time tonight that Claremore has been stopped behind the line of scrimmage on a running play. Very uncharacteristic. And the player who came in to replace Aaron McCullough, Noah Grimmett at quarterback, and a young man that is very capable to run this offense. In fact, head coach Rob Gilbert saying that these guys, they pretty much split the snaps of first-team offense right down the middle. There was not a significant amount of drop-off in terms of plays ran from that quarterback spot.
2nd and 15 from the 26. Here's a run up the middle to the 15. He's got the first down near the 10-yard line. And it was Riley Broucher. Boy, he is picking up some yards tonight.
Yeah, doing it in big-time chunks, and that was a little bit of confusion there. You had Grimmett, the quarterback, that didn't actually even take the snap, and then Broucher ended up taking it from another back, so certainly it caught Pryor off guard.
All right, Claremore 1st and goal from just inside the 10. Grimmett. Nope, it's going to be a direct snap. Heisey's there hitting the backfield, and he'll be stopped near the line of scrimmage for no gain. And I beg your pardon, Kyle Morris with the carry.
Love the second effort you're getting from these Claremore running backs. Heisey, a couple of plays ago, had to get that second effort to pick up the first down. And then Kyle Morris there, it didn't turn into any sort of gain, but still putting forth that second effort to prevent the loss.
2nd and goal from inside the 10. Grimmett in the gun. Takes the snap. Handoff coming back around the left side, in trouble in the backfield. Fighting to get back to the line of scrimmage, but he won't quite make it before he's covered up and stopped. And Laramie Davison with the carry. So 3rd and goal now from the 13.
It'll be interesting to see the play call here for the Claremore Zebras. With your starting quarterback Aaron McCullough out and the backup Noah Grimmett in, do you look at this as 4-down territory? Or if you can get a little bit closer, do you elect to bring on the field goal unit and just try to make this a 2-possession game?
3rd and goal from the 13. Grimmett has to reach to bring the snap in. Now he's going to throw it right. Caught at the 12-yard line, and he'll be hit and stopped there. And the pass is completed to Ethan Jester. So 4th and goal from the 12.
Well, that's going to go down officially as a 2-yard gain, but that's a heck of a play by Noah Grimmett. It was a little bit of a high snap. He had to bring it in with one hand and then had the awareness to make that throw, and that little out route is not an easy throw, but he put it on the money to Jester to make it to where it was not a negative play. The only issue is that Jeter, your kicker, is or Teeter rather, is a right-footed kicker, and you're all the way over there on that right hash, so it makes it a even tougher field goal. I think that's the decision to leave the offense on here.
4th and goal Here's the snap around the left side, in trouble, and pulled down and stopped at the 11. Noah Grimmett with the handoff to Kyle Morris, or was it direct to Morris, I should say. But in either event, stopped short and turns it over on downs, 1st and 10 for the Tigers from their own 12. 6:19 remaining in the third quarter. 14-7, Claremore leads Pryor.
Well, just a difficult situation for the Zebras to be in. A field goal attempt was not really an option there. And they elect to go with the running play, and you're having to sweep all the way across the field. That would have been a very difficult run for Morris to try to turn that corner.
First and 10 Tigers from their own 12. And Gage Mendeville in the quarterback position. High snap, it's over his head. Chance for a safety or a touchdown. The ball's loose in the end zone. Who's going to end up with it? Touchdown, Claremore! Roger Starkey.
Well, we've already called Roger Starkey's name once tonight. Had a big tackle for loss in the first half. And the big man able to break through the line of scrimmage and jump on that loose ball. What a play. Time and time again tonight, your seniors coming through. From the very start of the game, Alex Moore, the senior defensive back, got a strip and recovered the fumble. Then you had Derek Brazel making a big play on defense, and then Roger Starkey comes through with another one.
All right, Jacob Teeter into a point, attempt the point after Noah Grimmett to hold. Snap. There's the hole in the kick. And it's good. 21-7, Claremore leads Pryor. 6:12 left here in the third quarter. We'll take a break. This is Zebra Football on 91.3 RSU Radio and ClaremoreZebras.tv.
Fans, now would be a good time to do the third quarter drawing. Get your programs out. We're looking for a picture of number 9, Tyler Surratt. The drill program is signed by Tyler. Please come to the press box to receive your gift certificate for a free oil change from Robertson Tire. Robertson Tire is located on Will Rogers Boulevard and offers complete car care service. Jacob Teeter kicking off for Claremore.
6:12 left in the third quarter, 21-7. Claremore with the lead. Here's Teeter's kickoff to Pryor. Brought in at the 8-yard line, straight ahead now to the 20. Misses one tackle, 25-yard line. Breaks free at the 35, to the 40. 45 and a chance to score. And it looks like it's going to be returned all the way. Austin Lefebvre with the kickoff return for the touchdown. 92 yards. And the Tigers back within a touchdown.
Unbelievable. Lefebvre had a big kick return earlier in the night that was called back for an illegal block in the back. No flags on this one, and showing off the speed. Found one little hole, and then it just became a foot race that he was not going to lose.
Quentin Ramsey to attempt the extra point. Gage Mendeville is the holder for the Tigers. Wobbly, slow snap. Kick is up, and it is good. 21-14, Claremore with the lead over Pryor. 5:58 left here in the third quarter. Let's keep it here. I want to remind you that this broadcast of Claremore Zebra Football is sponsored by Carmick Pet Daycare, an indoor-outdoor heated and air-conditioned dog and cat motel. Carmick also offers a daycare play center and obedience training located 1.5 miles north of RSU on Highway 88 in Claremore. More information on their Facebook page. Carmick Pet Daycare, proud sponsor of Claremore Zebra Football on RSU Radio. 21-14, Claremore leads with just under 6 minutes to play here in the third quarter. Let's get another look at the scoreboard starting in Class 6A. 35-21, Mustang leading UConn. Latest score we have for Jenks and Bixby is 13-3. Trojans with the lead over Bixby. Putnam City over Putnam City North 7-zip. Broken Arrow and Owasso still in a close one. 7-0. Broken Arrow's got the lead there. Tied up Westmore and Moore at 14. Edmond Santa Fe 19. Edmond Santa Fe 14. Edmond North 9. And Union whipping up on South Lake Carroll 23-7.
One score from Claremore's district, Sapulpa down to Choctaw 24-6 at halftime. Also Muskogee, another team in this district, down 19-14 to 5A McAllister at the half. Muskogee expected to be much improved this season.
All right, Ramsey to kick off for the Zebras. Jonathan Cox back at his own 5-yard line for Claremore. Here's Ramsey's kick, right down the middle, coming closer here to the near side, and it's Hunter Thrasher. Angling to the right now, 25-yard line, throws a stiff arm now at the 30, and still fighting hard to get up to the 34-yard line. 1st and 10, Zebras from there.
That was a pretty crazy sequence. You had 3 consecutive plays. You had a turnover on downs, a turnover followed by a touchdown on the same play, and then a kickoff return for a touchdown. Claremore had to be feeling like they had a lot of momentum, but of course those special teams can change the momentum in a hurry, and if Austin Lefebvre doesn't return that for a touchdown, Claremore has got a ton of momentum on their side, and they've still got the momentum, you could argue, but it still remains just a one-possession game.
Zebras 1st and 10 from their own 24. We've got Aaron McCullough back, but it's going to be a direct snap to a running back looking up the middle. Kyle Morris up to the 36-yard line for a 3-yard gain. 2nd and 7, and now an injured Pryor Tiger. And it's Niven Henson, and he'll hop up and head to the sidelines under his own power.
Never want to speculate, but it certainly looked like it was more cramping going on, the way that he was trying to keep that right leg extended. More times than anything, you'll see the calves or the hamstrings be the issues with the cramps in these opening games.
They're more 2nd and 7 from their own 37. McCullough in the gun, takes a snap. Straight ahead up the middle, pushing to the 40-yard line, falls forward to the 41 before he is stopped by Pryor's Christian Campbell. And he'll spot it at right about the 40 for a 3-yard gain. It'll be 3rd and 4.
Well, I was just about to say it's nice to see Aaron McCullough get back in the game, but he was awfully slow getting up, and you have to wonder what is ailing him and how bad is it, and now it's obviously bad enough where they're going to have to pull him out of the game.
Zebras lead Pryor by 7. Just under 5 minutes to play here in the 3rd quarter. 3rd and 4 from the 40. Here's the direct snap to the running back, Morris. Around the left side to the 45-yard line. He's got the 1st down as he goes out of bounds here on the near side at the 45. 1st and 10, Zebras.
Hard running by Kyle Morris as usual, and boy, has he been a breath of fresh air tonight. Knew that he had to find a way to get around that edge, and Kyle Morris now on just 10 carries has 48 yards for the evening.
Claremore 1st and 10 from just outside their own 45-yard line. Grimmett in the shotgun. Snap direct to Morris around the right side, and he'll be hit and thrown down to the turf at the 47-yard line for about a 2-yard gain. Going to bring up 2nd and 8.
That was a solid tackle by Caleb Reese. If he doesn't make that tackle, Morris might still be running. He had a nice hole off the right tackle, and Reese did a good job to wrap up in the open field.
More 2nd and 8 from their own 47. Noah Grimmett in the gun. Direct snap to a running back. Now a handoff to Riley Broucher around the right side up to the 49-yard line for a 2-yard gain. It's 3rd and 6.
I talked about the successful running from Kyle Morris. Riley Broucher has been excellent tonight. Whenever his number has been called, he has been money. That's the first carry of the night for Riley Broucher that hasn't gone for at least 10 yards. That's his 5th carry. He's got 86 yards. And the carries before that last 2-yard gain, 13, 23, 10, and 38 yards.
More 3rd and 6 from their own 49. Grimmett, who reaches out for the snap, brings it in, turns around and goes upfield across the 50 to the 45-yard line of the Tigers. Oh, it's going to be close, maybe just a bit short of the first down. I think it's going to be 4th and short. We may get a measurement here. Nope, they'll just go ahead and say it is short.
Well, he made that look awfully good, didn't he? He got that with one hand and faked like the turnaround, and it certainly fooled the defense and left him with a little bit of an opening up the middle. Good job turning something into nothing. He's already done that once tonight.
Grimmett in the gun, Morris to his right. 4th and inches. It's direct to Morris. Pushes forward on the pile, and looks like they'll give him forward progress. But then they'll turn around. They tackle him back close to the 50. They originally gave him forward progress up to the 43. And then backed it up.
Well, the line judge started out being, like you said, he was well inside the 45-yard line, and as he got towards midfield, he started to level off backwards outside the 45. I don't like that call at all. The Claremore coaching staff certainly not happy about it.
It'll turn it over on downs. 1st and 10 Tigers from their own 45. Talk about perhaps a key moment with Pryor trailing by 7, 2:17 left in the 3rd. So we've still got the backup quarterback, Gage Mendeville, in for Pryor. He's lined up in the pistol. 1st and 10 from his own 45. Fakes the handoff. He'll take it up the middle himself. Breaks from a couple of tackles. Gets across midfield to the 49 for a 6-yard gain. 2nd and 4.
You know, going back to that play, though, for Claremore, I really like the courage there to go for it. Claremore's been so dominant on the line of scrimmage tonight. You want to reward your team and make them feel like, hey, I've got the confidence in you as a coach to say, yeah, let's keep the offense on the field at midfield. And even though it's a one-possession game with you leading, you want to go after the win. You don't want to sit back and be conservative.
Tigers 2nd and 4 from the Zebra 49. Mendeville in the pistol. Takes the snap. Handoff going up the middle. And it's Spencer Henson pushing forward across the 45's got the first down as he gets to the 43-yard line of Claremore. 1st and 10.
We have not seen a lot of action from Spencer Henson since early in the 2nd quarter. He was really the workhorse early, but that's just his 10th carry on the night. He does have 78 yards, and I'm surprised it's taken them so long to go back to him.
1st and 10 for Pryor from Claremore's 43. Mendeville in the pistol. Takes the snap. Hand off to Henson across the line of scrimmage and forward close to the 42-yard line for a 1-yard gain. Actually, not much of a gain at all. We'll still call it 2nd and 10. Lot of, and not just saying this with Pryor, but I've noticed the backs moving early and getting away with it a number of times tonight. And yes, it is week 1. So perhaps either they're not catching it or letting that slide just a little bit. But 2nd and 9 from the 42 of the Zebras. Mendeville in the pistol. Snap, now the handoff. Spencer Henson up to the 40-yard line and then driven backwards. One of those in with an early hit was Derek Brazel for the Zebras.
Well, as we mentioned earlier in the game, this defensive unit is an entirely different 11 group of players from the offensive unit. So the offense was stopped questionably on 4th down, and this defense come back out, and they've got the offenses back. They are coming out with a lot of energy. They are fired up, and they're saying, hey, we're going to take care of you.
That's the end of the 3rd quarter, 21-14. Claremore with the lead over Pryor in Claremore. Take a break, come back, get you set with the final quarter of week 1 in the 2015 season. This is Zebra Football on 91.3 RSU Radio and ClaremoreZebras.tv.
Here we go. 4, 6, 0, 3, 5, 5. You win $52. Bring it up here. 4, 6, 0, 3, 5, 5. There's the best team. All right, the quarterback club is ready to give away the signed football or your red tickets. If you are the proud owner of ticket number 533-8654, 533-8654, come up to the press box and put your football.
Back to get the fourth quarter started in Claremore. 21-14, the Zebras lead. 3rd and 7 for the Tigers. There's a handoff going up the right side of the line to the 37-yard line of Claremore. And it was Alex Yates returning to the backfield for the Tigers. So he'll get forward to the 37-yard line. It'll bring up 4th and 4 for the Tigers. In Zebra territory.
I mentioned we hadn't seen Hinson in a while. Alex Yates the same. Hadn't seen him in quite some time. This running game started pretty strong, and it's really leveled off for Pryor.
4th and 4 from the Zebra 37. Pryor's Gage Mendeville, the backup quarterback in the pistol. Fakes the handoff, runs it up the middle, and angling right, gets it just inside the 35. Not quite to the 34-yard line, so that's short of the first down. It'll turn it over on downs to Claremore. 1st and 10 from their own 34. 11-14 remaining in the game. 21-14, Claremore leads Pryor.
And it wasn't even close either. That was a nice job by Brazel and Brady Kropp to get in there and make sure that Mendeville was not able to surge forward and pick up the first down. Tackled him at least a full yard shy.
Welcome to the finest Mexican restaurant of all Claremore. Here at El Banquete, we assure you of our fresh food and produce handled by our finest cooks and servers. Come on down and enjoy some delicious and complimentary chips and salsa. We also offer you free Wi-Fi with your 15% discount with your student ID. We take the liberty of making our fresh guacamole directly at your table. So make your way down.
From their own 34. And here is Grimmett taking it himself. Man, a couple hard bounces off of some tacklers, but still fights up to the 38-yard line for a 3-yard gain. Will bring up 2nd and 7.
And we mentioned Aaron McCullough, the Claremore starting quarterback who played last season. Noah Grimmett saw some quarterback action last year as well. The final game of the season against Bartlesville, all those injuries continued to tally up for the Zebras, and they had to bring the freshman Noah Grimmett in. But what a player he is, what a young talent. And he was the starting catcher last season for the Claremore baseball team as a freshman. If you start for Claremore varsity as a freshman for baseball, you're pretty talented.
2nd and 6 for the Zebras. And here's Morris getting stopped in the backfield for a loss at the 34-yard line. A 4-yard loss, and it'll bring up 3rd and 10.
And talking about the differences in the quarterbacks of Aaron McCullough and Noah Grimmett, two totally different body frames. Aaron McCullough looks like your typical pocket passer, a tall guy at well over 6 foot tall. Noah Grimmett, shorter to the ground, got a lot of muscle in there, and he can take off and run the ball like a bulldozer, but he throws a pretty good ball as well, head coach Rob Gilbert told us.
3rd and 10, snap direct to Morris around the left side, hit and stopped. Ooh, and a helmet pops off for Morris. Back at the 32. And it's a 2-yard loss, 4th and 12.
Well, that's without a doubt the best defensive series that this Pryor Tigers team has had all night long. You had a gain of just 3 yards on the first play from scrimmage, and then consecutive losses of 3 and 2 yards. And with the Claremore punt coming, you have to think that Pryor's going to get decent field position when they get the ball back, and still plenty of time.
Eric Brazel in punt formation. And again, 2 Pryor Tigers deep. Here's the slow snap. Brazel's punt. High, coming towards the near side, end over end. Will take again a good bounce for Claremore. And then it's muffed. And the Zebras muff it again, and then they can't pick it up. Pryor has recovered. Alex Yates jumps on it, and it's Pryor Tiger football at the 32. 2 players had hands on it, one for either team, and then it ends up back with Pryor. So they escape disaster. 9:20 left in the game, 21-14, Claremore leads.
Boy, Pryor has been given some gifts tonight, but that was the biggest that they have been given, because if Claremore is able to fall on that, not saying they were for sure going to score, but it would have been given them their best field position of the night.
All right, 1st and 10 for Pryor from their own 32. Still have the backup quarterback, Gage Mendeville, after Chandler Olson went out in the 3rd quarter. Tigers 1st and 10 from their own 32. Mendeville in the pistol. Takes the snap, and I think they have the delay of game. They did, so back them up 5.
Well, Pryor has been able to limit the penalties tonight. A lot of times in week 1, you'll see teams making unforced errors and really hurting themselves in the penalty area, but that's just the 4th penalty of the night on Pryor for just 24 yards total.
First and 15 for the Tigers from their own 27. Mendeville in the pistol, gets the snap. Here's Henson looking around the right side, and he's hit early and stopped for a short gain. They bring up 2nd and 14. Looks like Roger Starkey was one of those in there for the Zebras. And Henson, it looks like maybe the one a little slow to get up.
And looks like more cramping. Again, the hamstrings, and they've got both of his legs this time. That is difficult to watch. If you've ever had those hamstring cramps, there's not a whole lot that's worse, because it's just totally paralyzing. There is nothing you can do about it.
8:59 left in the game. 21-14. Claremore leads Pryor in Claremore.
El Banquete Mexican Grill today, located across the street from Sonic on Will Rogers Boulevard.
We carry a full line of Echo chainsaws, all backed by a 5-year warranty. You'll be satisfied with anything from our lawn vacuums to our excellent line of mowers. Come by Turfland for friendly help finding exactly what you need. Come visit us in Claremore at 1702 North J.M. Davis Boulevard, or call us at 341-3313. Open Monday through Friday, 8 to 5:30, and Saturdays from 8 to noon.
Here at Fullerton Welding Supply, we pride ourselves in our customer service. We carry a wide variety of supplies, including Miller, ESAB, Tillman.
Pryor from their own 28. Mendeville in the pistol, takes the snap, rolling left. The left-handed throw, and it's going to be out of the receiver's reach. Austin Lefebvre was the intended receiver. Alex Moore with coverage. Incomplete. Brings up 3rd and 13.
The first time that they've asked Mendeville to roll out of the pocket and throw the football, and a difficult play to make, and because it was incomplete, it makes this 3rd down even tougher. 3rd and 13.
Tigers from their own 28-yard line. They're down and 13. Gage Mendeville, the junior, in the pistol. Takes a snap, fumble, loose football. Starkey's there. Did he get it? We'll have to wait and see. The Tigers recovered at the 25. 4th and 17, though, from the 25, so count that as a tackle for a loss, actually from the 24. So 4th and 18.
Well, a great job by the Claremore defense to get in there and swarm on it, and even though they weren't able to recover the fumble, they're going to have a chance to get this back with great field position and a new return man back for the Zebras.
Snap and the punt nearly blocked, and contact with the punter. It's going to be roughing. But it's...
Well, and I think Claremore's trying to say that Jonathan Cox did get a little piece of it. It was certainly an ugly punt that came over to the sidelines, but They are not going to say he got any of it at all. And like you said, without a doubt, that was roughing. Even if you graze it with your fingertips, you can annihilate the punter and it's legal. But if you miss that football, you can't touch him. And that is a killer for Claremore, and once again, another gift for these Pryor Tigers.
Okay, so that makes the spot the 39-yard line. And it's 1st and 10. 8:05 left in the game. 21-14. Claremore leads Pryor in Claremore. 1st and 10. Mendeville in the pistol. The snap. Looking right. Throws right, and it'll be caught. He'll escape across the 50, 45, far sidelines to the 35, and down to the 25-yard line. Austin Lefebvre with a big gain on the pass from Gage Mendeville. 1st down for the Tigers, deep in Zebra territory.
Well, you asked Mendeville to throw yet another pass, and all of a sudden able to connect. Ends up being a 37-yard game for Lefebvre, and once again, he makes the big play. Remember, he's the one that had that kickoff return for a touchdown.
First and 10 for Pryor from the Claremore 24. Mendeville in the pistol. Takes the snap, fakes the handoff, rolling out left. Hit as he throws. It'll be caught at the 25-yard line, and he'll be hit and stopped at the 20. And in with the stop for Claremore, Ben Jones. Pass was completed to Daniel Chase.
First time tonight that Jones has received a pass, and Pryor really mixing it up in that receiving core. 5 different players now have caught a pass, including Mendeville, who started this game as a receiver but is now had to step in as quarterback, as you mentioned.
It's good for a 4-yard gain. 2nd and 6 from the 20. Mendeville in the pistol. Takes the snap, handoff going up the middle. Yates pushing across the 15, dragging the pile. Ball popped loose. Zebras say they have it.
Once again,
it appeared Pryor hangs on. Yeah.
Goodness gracious. 4th fumble tonight that Pryor has able to get back. And while Claremore has recovered 3 fumbles, Pryor has been able to get back 4. And when you look at the areas that Claremore has been able to recover fumbles, one of those in the Pryor end zone for a touchdown, and 2 inside their own red zone.
1st and goal from the 10. Mendeville in the pistol, has Yates right behind him. Takes the snap, fakes the handoff. Mendeville on the carry straight ahead, and he'll be stopped at the line of scrimmage for no gain. 2nd and goal.
Well, I can't help but think that this has got to be 4-down territory for Pryor. So already here on 2nd down, you have to be thinking this playbook is wide open for the Pryor Tigers. They might be on the 10-yard line, but they're still looking at this from the vantage point of we've got 3 plays left to try to get the job done. So don't expect them to pass here on 2nd or even maybe 3rd down just because they have a long distance to go. They're probably just thinking, got to have some positive yardage and get closer to that goal line.
Tigers 2nd and goal from the 10. And we've got a new look. Will Considine takes the snap, but flags and whistles stop the play. Was there flags? No. Timeout taken by Pryor. 6:01 left in the 4th. 21-14. Claremore leads Pryor. We'll take a break. This is Zebra Football on 91.3 RSU Radio and ClaremoreZebras.tv.
And many other large brands. You may find the supply somewhere else, but you can't beat the Fullerton customer service.
It's a small town throwdown.
Fullerton Welding Supplies is located at 25318 South Highway 88, Ninola. See you soon.
Some of the best moments in life happen at home. American Standard Heating and Air works smarter to make them all more comfortable.
Back in the pistol. The handoff, Yates looking around the right side. Hit and stopped at the line of scrimmage for no gain. 3rd and goal.
Well, there's been some solid plays tonight when it comes to tackles for loss for Claremore, but Brady Kropp was the player who got in there first and was able to sling down Yates. He's a quick, shifty, accelerating back, but a nice job by Brady Kropp to get into the backfield early and bring him down for a loss.
Third and goal for the Zebras from the 10-yard line. Players on the field trying to fire up the crowd. And they'll get to their feet and make a little noise. 3rd and 10 for the Pryor Tigers. 3rd and goal, rather, from the 10. Mendeville in the pistol. Takes a snap, takes the handoff. The pass knocked down and incomplete.
Read absolutely perfectly by Alex Moore. What a play. Perfect timing. No question that he did not beat the ball there, but it was almost identical timing to ensure that the pass was not hauled in. Remember his play in the first quarter on the opening drive, a big run by Spencer Henson down inside the Claremore 15, and Alex Moore came from behind, stripped it away, and recovered the fumble.
All right, 4th and goal for Pryor from the 10. Looking to tie it up as they trail by 7. 4th and goal. H. Mendeville in the pistol. And flags and whistles. Delay of game against the Tigers.
You absolutely cannot afford that in that situation if you're Pryor. To have a loss on the play of 5 yards, already had their work cut out for them on 4th and 10.
All right, that's it, 4th and goal from the 15. Mendeville in the pistol. Alex Yates in the backfield. Mendeville the snap, rolling left. The left-handed throw tipped and falls away, incomplete. And it was batted down by the Zebras. Gus Espinoza, incomplete. 1st and 10 Zebras from their own 15. 4:44 left in the game. 21-14 Claremore leading Pryor.
Well, that's a good job by Gus Espinoza, and that's a player who's a returning starter that we expected to make some noise. Haven't called his name a lot tonight, but coming up big when it matters and knocking down that 4th down pass. And this Claremore team, you had to think maybe there were a little bit of question marks coming into this season on defending the pass. Some new guys in that secondary, but Gus Espinoza, not a secondary guy, but makes the play when it counts on 4th down.
All right, we've got McCullough back in the shotgun. 1st and 10 from his own 15. And it's a direct snap to a running back. Straight up the middle's got a chance, and then hit and stopped at the 27-yard line. Tyler Surrett needed to get past one defender, but couldn't quite get it done. 1st and 10 Zebras from their own 28.
Tyler Surrett, another one of those running backs who we expected to see a lot of time this season. Haven't seen him carry the ball a lot tonight, but didn't have much room to work with there. But a guy with some speed can really be a benefit in that backfield. And again, can't say it enough. How about the balanced attack tonight in this Claremore Zebra rushing attack? 8 different players have handled the football.
Claremore 1st and 10 from their own 28. Call in the shotgun. Still has 15 on the play clock. He's going to let it run down. And it's going to be a direct snap to the running back up the middle again across the 30 to the 34-yard line. About a 6-yard gain. It was Surrett again with the carry. That'll make it 3rd and 5.
tell you, coming into this game, we knew it was going to be a heavy rushing attack for the Claremore Zebras, and they had to get a little bit creative here in this second half, but for the most part, it was the same situation. You just got up there and you ran your plays to perfection, and these running backs, this offensive line, deserve so much credit in this football game. And how about the defense as well? Overall team effort tonight. You're not going to be able to look at one of the three phases of the game and say that we were bad in that area.
Correction, 2nd and 4 from the 34. Here's McCullough carrying the ball, hit in the backfield. Here comes the flag in. I think I saw a face mask from up here.
Good to see McCullough back into the game, knowing that his injuries are not serious. Coach Gilbert talked about his ability to manage this offense, and he has certainly done that tonight when he's been in the game.
It is indeed the face mask against Pryor. That'll spot it at the 38. And that's the first down. First and 10 Claremore from the 38. 3:10 remaining in the game. 21-14. Kola in the gun. Surratt to his left. Surratt's got the direct snap, looking around the right side. Pulled down and stopped in the backfield by Caleb Reese. So it's a 3-yard loss. 2nd and 13 from the 35. Clock continues to run with 2:40.
When you look at Pryor, 2 timeouts left. They cannot allow Claremore to get another first down if they're going to expect to have a chance to win this game. So it's got to be now or never. And Claremore has not put the ball in the air much tonight, but when they have, they've seen some effectiveness, but for the most part, Pryor's been spot on defending. Claremore just 2 of 6 in passing attempts for 12 yards.
2nd and 14 from the 34. Direct snap, Tyler Surratt. Angles left and pushes forward to the 36-yard line. Got a 2-yard gain and a timeout taken by Pryor with 2:09 remaining in the game. 21-14, Claremore leads Pryor. We'll take a quick break. This is Zebra Football on 91.3 RSU Radio and ClaremoreZebras.tv.
It is assumed that 90% of teenagers drink at parties, when in all reality, only 15% do.
In as little as 12 months, with a diploma from Spartan College, you could have a career in aviation and beyond. At Spartan, you don't just study airplanes, you're surrounded by them. Some 40 at our flight campus, another 20 at our technology campus. This is a college where you can pilot planes, repair planes, learn everything there is to know about
their own 36-yard line. Aaron McCullough back in the shotgun. Tyler Surratt just to his left. Surratt's been getting a lot of direct snaps. There's one to McCullough. Fakes the handoff, but then hit and stopped in the backfield for a loss. That'll be 4th and long from the 33.
Well, that's okay, because I like the call. Even though it was 3rd and long, you keep the football on the ground because it forces Pryor to use their final timeout. Now they're out of them with 2:04 to remain.
All right, just a reminder, next week at Rogers, Arkansas, we'll have coverage here on ZTV and on RSU Radio. If you're not able to follow on either the radio or the web next week and want updates, check out social media at RSU Radio or Facebook.com/RSU Radio, or for ClaremoreZebras.tv at CZebras.tv. And you can find the link to both their Twitter page and Facebook page right there on your screen for ClaremoreZebras.tv. Don't forget RSURadio.com/live for 24/7 audio streaming of RSU radio programming, including RSU Game Winner, hosted by our producer, Mike Brower, Fridays at 1 o'clock. 4th and 14 for the Zebras from their own 34-yard line. And Zebras' Derek Brazel in punt formation. High snap, he backs up for it. Brazel's right-footed punt, high spiral. And this one, boy, he's been getting some good bounces tonight. Happy with those as it goes across the 30 and rolls dead at the 27, 1st and 10. For Pryor from their own 27-yard line. 40-yard punt from Derek Brazel and no return. So 1:51 left. Plenty of time for the Tigers. They do have no timeouts left as they trail by 7 here in the 4th.
That's his best punt of the night, and it came, of course, at the most opportune time. There have been a couple of bad ones, one decent one, but a nice job by Brazel to settle in and rip off a good punt. And as you mentioned, getting that good bounce. Pryor, not horrible field position, but certainly not great either.
Sent in for the Tigers from their own 28. Mendeville rolling out to the right. Stops, makes the left-handed throw, and a diving catch. Dropped. Went to the turf forward at the 40. Would have had the first down, but the receiver could not bring it in. That one was just a missed opportunity. And intended for Dawson Fleek.
Fleek already has one reception for the night for 15 yards, but just not able to haul that one in. But I tell you, give a lot of credit to Mendeville having to come in and play quarterback after the starter Olson went down, and he's done a nice job, completed a couple of passes, including one 37-yarder that set Pryor up nicely on their last drive, but they were just not able to finish it off.
2nd and 10 for the Tigers from their own 28. Mendeville in the pistol. Yates in the backfield. Mendeville drops back, looking left. Hit as he throws, jumping attempt made, and it's incomplete. Off his receiver's hands, Austin Lefebvre, the intended receiver. And Alex Moore, one of those in with coverage for the Zebras. 3rd and 10.
Pryor just 5 of 16 now on the night in passing attempts, and about half of those have come from the backup Mendeville. Of course, the starter Olson that went out with an injury earlier in the 3rd quarter. But for Claremore, the way that they have defended the pass tonight, they've got to be feeling pretty confident about the situation they're in.
Pryor 3rd and 10 from their own 28-yard line. Gage Mendeville in the pistol. The snap, rolling left, Mendeville to throw. Throws it over the middle, batted down, and it's incomplete. 4th and 10, Brady Kropp knocks that one away.
I tell you, these players on this Claremore defense just continue to step up. Brady Kropp, who is just a junior, hard to believe. Seems like he's been playing longer than that. 2 years ago when Claremore had to go on the road and play Shawnee in the 2nd round of the playoffs, this guy got to start as a freshman.
All right, so Pryor left with 4th and 10 from their own 28. Last chance opportunity. Do or die with 1:36 remaining, trailing by 7 on the road. 4th and 10 for the Tigers from their own 28-yard line. Mendeville in the pistol. Takes the snap, rolling right. Mendeville, the left-handed throw, and it will be caught at the first down marker. Spun around and tackled at the 38. The Tigers stay alive. And the pass was completed to Dawson Fleek, the junior.
What a play. Mendeville had to hang in there and release that throw, and he put it right on the money, and he was rolling to his right, had to throw back across the field to the left, and a nice job by Fleek to hang on despite good coverage from Claremore.
Pryor 1st and 10 from their own 41. Clock ticking with 1:20 left. Pryor trails by 7. Mendeville fakes the handoff. Throws one from the pocket over the middle into double coverage, and it is, nearly intercepted. It was hit, and Garrett Reynolds had a couple hands on it and then just got drilled in midair. Couldn't hang on, and it's incomplete. 2nd and 10.
Well, and that's one of those plays where the receivers have to turn into the defensive backs. A lot of coverage. Good job by Claremore to tip it up in the air. And Reynolds nearly had it, but as you mentioned, he just got blindsided. There was not a lot he could have done on that play.
Clock stopped with 1:10 remaining. And the Tigers facing 2nd and 10 from their own 41-yard line, working towards the east end zone here in Claremore. Gage Mendeville in the pistol, 2nd and 10 from his own 41, takes the snap, rolling right. Stops now the left-handed throw, incomplete off his receiver's hands. It's 3rd and 10. That one was intended for Josh Hawkins. Hands on his helmet. He's upset with himself. 3rd and 10.
Well, despite that 4th down completion to keep the drive alive and keep this game alive for Pryor, the passing game is still not going well. And on this drive, they are now just 1 of 6 on pass attempts.
Pryor 3rd and 10 from their own 41, clock at 1:05. Pryor trails by 7. Mendeville in the pistol. Takes the snap. This time rolling left. Here comes the Zebra rush. Hit as he throws. It's incomplete. What a hit. And it was Derek Brazel. 4th and 10.
Boy, that's the type of hit that makes you question if you want to get back up or not. Brazel, it was a clean hit too. Put his helmet right in the chest, ensuring that that pass didn't get anywhere close to a receiver.
All right, Tigers have their backs against the wall once again. Clock stopped at 1:01. 4th and 10 from their own 41-yard line. They've converted on 4th down once already on this drive. Mendeville in the pistol. Play action fake. Throws for the far sidelines into double coverage, and it's intercepted, but there's a flag. It's Garrett Reynolds with the pick. Reynolds at the 50, 45-40 down the far sidelines, and a nice return to the 30-yard line as he's tripped up by Mendeville, but I believe this is going to be interference. 2 flags at the 32.
No question about it. It is going to be interference. Claremore just kind of got caught up. That ball was well underthrown. The receiver had to try to come back, and the second you throw on the brakes, it's like getting rear-ended in a car accident. The receiver tried to turn back around. There was a defensive back right there holding him up. It wasn't intentional, but it doesn't make any difference. That's pass interference, and it's blatant, and the right call is made. But the way Claremore is defended, they can still feel confident about their chances in this game. Just going to have to pick yourselves up and go to the next play.
2 4th down conversions, if that really counts. I mean, the penalty gives them a first down again on a 4th down. 47 seconds left in the game, 21-14. Claremore leading Pryor, but the Tigers are driving. 1st and 10 in Zebra territory at the 44. Mendeville in the pistol. Takes the snap. Looking right. Throws right, and it's tipped and falls incomplete. 2nd and 10. And knocked away by the Zebras, Hunter Thrasher. Intended for Jacob Davis.
Pryor continuing to find a way to stay alive in this game. The odds have been stacked against them time and time again tonight. They've had so many fumbles. 3 have been recovered, but still yet they've had 4 recovered themselves.
Pryor 2nd and 10 from the Zebra 44. Mendeville rolling left. Stops the left-handed throw. It'll be caught at the 32-yard line, and he's hit immediately and stopped, but he's got the first down. And a good completion to Nathan Ingles. Can't fault the defender on that. Perfect coverage from the Zebras, Alex Moore. But they convert again. 1st and 10. Driving are the Pryor Tigers at the 33. Clock ticking with 30 seconds remaining, and there's the spike. To stop the clock, it'll be 2nd and 10.
Yeah, Claremore covered it just the way they needed to, as you mentioned, Bryant, but just a nice job by Ingles to hold on. Good job by Mendeville to put it right on the money.
Second and 10 for the Tigers from the Claremore 33. Gage Mendeville on the pistol. Alex Yates in the backfield. Mendeville the snap, rolling right. Stops. Throws to the right and knocked away and incomplete, nearly intercepted. But Hunter Thrasher able to get a couple hands on it and bat it away. Clock stops with 23 seconds to go. It'll be 3rd and 10 for Pryor from the 33 of the Zebras.
Well, Pryor once again very fortunate that ball was not intercepted. Thrasher had a good shot at it, but able to knock it down, and we continue to see incomplete pass after incomplete pass. Only 2 completions on this drive, but my goodness, it's turned in to nearly a 53-yard drive so far on only 2 completions.
23 seconds left in the game. Pryor trails by 7, but they're driving. 3rd and 10 from the Zebras 33. Gage Mendeville, the backup, takes the snap, looking in the pocket. Now he's going to roll left. Going to keep it himself. 35 to the 30. Angling to the left and hit near the sidelines at the 23. And he'll be stopped there. That's close to the first down marker. It depends on the spot.
I think it's going to be just enough where they've spotted it at. But this is a very important call in the game because if he didn't get it, it would be 4th down. And now they move the chains.
.14 seconds remaining. 1st and 10 Tigers from the Zebra 23. Mendeville takes the snap, backs up to pass. Looking, throws one over the middle. He's got a man there, caught at the 5-yard line, hit twice, gets into the end zone. Touchdown Tigers. They've still got to make the PAT to tie it up.
Unbelievable. What a drive by Pryor. It wasn't pretty. As a matter of fact, a drive to go down the field doesn't get too much worse looking than that from an offensive standpoint, but my goodness. Coming through in the clutch, Mendeville once again. And guess who? You mentioned it. That caught the touchdown, Lefebvre, who has been big all night.
So what do? Go for the tie? Go for the win. They brought in the big man, Spencer Henson, the senior. They're going for 2 in the win. Zebras get a stop here. They win. They don't. They lose. Mendeville in the pistol. Henson in the backfield. He's got the handoff. He's short. They stopped him. Zebras win. It's going to be 5 seconds left on the clock, but that's it.
Well, for those of you watching on ZTV, that picture says it all. And for those of you tuned in on RSU Radio, Claremore Zebras celebrating high fives all around on the sidelines. Coach is doing a good job to get them on the actual sidelines to ensure you don't have any sort of penalty here. And they got the penalty anyway.
Well.
So instead of kicking off from their own 40, Pryor is most likely going to be kicking off on Claremore's side of the field if it ends up being unsportsmanlike conduct.
Well, and they do still, yeah, and I spoke too soon. 5 seconds left, they can still do the onside.
Well, I got to tell you, you can't fault Pryor for trying to go for the win, but I will just say this. They didn't go for 2 because they didn't have faith in their kicking game, because both of the PATs denied had been made by Quint Ramsey. So he had made both of his opportunities, but a situation where Pryor felt like the big guy Henson would be able to punch it in. But wow, what a stop by the Claremore defense. And apparently no penalty because Pryor's going to be kicking off from their own 40-yard line.
Okay. This one isn't over. So I take back what I said earlier in the heat of the moment. But Pryor can recover this kickoff and still would have just a few seconds. Here's the onside attempt where the Zebras ready. Oh, this one's close. Tigers might have it.
Well, it definitely went the 10 yards. I'll tell you that right off the bat.
First down, Pryor. They've got it at the 49. Clock stops at 3.9 seconds. So you remember the run-up, pretend fake kickoffs they've been doing all night? Well, that time they went with it, and it got them the onside.
Unbelievable. This game has had the twists and turns that you could only probably think up in this big-time rivalry between Claremore and Pryor that it's nearly 100 years old when the first meeting happened.
All right, 3.9 seconds remaining. Zebra players trying to fire up the crowd. They're on their feet here in Claremore. Gage Mendeville, the backup quarterback. Okay. Whoa. They say they're changing the clock back.
Well, here's why it can't be. We'll wait and see what they change it to before we comment, but it can't be anything more than 5.6 because that's what the clock was at after the touchdown was scored. The 2-point conversion is an untimed play, so no time should have ran off for that. But now the clock is sitting at 5.7. Either way, you have to figure last play of the game.
1st and 10. for the Tigers from the Zebra 49. Mendeville takes the snap, fakes the handoff, play action. Mendeville throwing over the middle, and do we have a flag? Yes, we do. And in with the coverage for Claremore was Derek Brazel. And pass being intended for Austin Lefebvre. Stop the clock with 0.4 seconds remaining.
And even if the clock would have ran out, the game would not have
Right.
ended because it couldn't end on a defensive penalty. But barring no defensive penalties on this next play, this will be your ball game. One play, one chance for the Pryor Tigers from the Claremore 35.
Last play of this Highway 20 rivalry. Barring a penalty, 1st and 10 for the Tigers from the Zebra 35. Tigers have it. Mendeville from the pocket. Throws one to the right side into double coverage, and it's knocked away and incomplete. Game over. Ben Jones knocks it down for Claremore. And the Zebras win 21-20 on their home opener.
My goodness, the Claremore Zebras have to be thinking this Pryor team just would not go away. And credit to Pryor for continuing to fight for the entire night. But credit to Claremore for fighting through the adversity, because it continued to be a situation, regardless of a pass interference call, a fumble that was ended up recovered by Pryor, who fumbled it to begin with. Plays that just continued to keep the Tigers in this football game. And Claremore continued to persevere, never gave up, and able to get a few big stops there in the final closing moments.
21-20, your final. Claremore picks up the win over the Pryor Tigers on week 1. We're going to take a 3-minute break, add up some stats. We'll be back with those and the post-game show. This is Zebra Football on 91.3 RSU Radio and ClaremoreZebras.tv.
It's number 7, Caleb Reese. Player of the game for the Claremore Zebras, number 14, Aaron McCullough. Congratulations to both young men, Caleb Reese and Aaron McCullough. And now the trophy presentation. Congratulations to both teams and the winning team, the Claremore Zebras. Don't forget, next Friday night, travel to Rogers, Arkansas. Warrior Zebras kick off at 7 o'clock. So we want to wish our fans for Pryor a nice safe trip home. Good night, everybody.
ready. Back at Lanto Field in Claremore, 21-20. Claremore knocks off the Pryor Tigers to win Week 1 against their Highway 20 rivals. Good to start out the season 1-0. Claremore with 52 rushes for 309 yards. They were 2 of 6 passing for 12 yards for a 321-yard total. Pryor with 31 rushes for 175. Passing, they were 7 of 24 for 118 yards for a, well, I can't do the math quickly enough. 299 total, 298 I should say total. Penalties for the Zebras, 7 for 59 yards, and for Pryor 5 for 43. But whatever the stats say, this was, as you said, one where the Tigers would not go away, but the Zebra D wouldn't either. Ben Jones knocking down the final pass attempt from Pryor to seal the win for the Zebras. How about the final stop down on the 2-point conversion attempt from the Tigers as they put in Spencer Henson, their big tailback, and Zebra D kept him out of the end zone and forced the Tigers to try the onside kick attempt, which they recovered, and then unable to get it into the end zone, just ran out of time. Zebras pick up the win tonight. Your impression of this Zebra squad after Week 1?
Well, I got to tell you, the most encouraging thing out of all the good stats, of all the good plays, it's the heart that this team came out with. And I sure tell you, Brian, after we saw what we saw last season from this Claremore team, they had so many injuries, so much adversity to battle through. I don't think that any of us questioned the courage and the heart of this team, and that whenever their backs were against a wall, they were not going to back down. They were not afraid to accept a challenge. They were not going to make excuses or hang their heads in tough situations, and we saw that in action tonight. You can always assume things, but until you actually see them happen, that's when you can finally believe it. And so we know it's true about this Claremore team. I'm sure head coach Rob Gilbreth has got to be more than pleased with the way that his team performed tonight. And to get a win like this in Week 1, it's just so exhilarating, and you just feel so rewarded after a long spring and summer and early part of the fall and practices. You just feel great to get that win and see all that hard work pay off.
All right, and good to be back in football season. I've got to say that. Congratulations to the ZTV crew tonight for pulling off a successful broadcast, and a lot of the crew here as we see them getting ready to pack things up and get the rest of their Friday night going. But doing a great job adjusting on the fly. This is brand new software for them, and again, training a lot of new folks tonight and dealing with our radio broadcast as well. The simulcast not easy to pull off, but as always, they do a good job. So they've got a reason to be happy tonight, as does this Zebras football squad, and this kind of sets the tone for Week 2, traveling to Rogers, Arkansas.
Well, it certainly does, and that was the game last season that, of course, Claremore won. Did it in kind of convincing fashion here at Lanto Field, but that's a team that we know can be very difficult to play against, playing in the highest classification in the state of Arkansas. So to go on the road into their house, it will be a much different environment, one that Claremore has never seen going and playing at Rogers, Arkansas. So certainly will be a big game, but when you go into a difficult road environment like that, a long road trip, certainly bodes well to take some momentum after getting a big win tonight.
Yeah, it does indeed. We'll have coverage here on ZTV, ClaremoreZebras.tv, next Friday night. Also, the following Friday will be an Arkansas game as well. Siloam Springs coming to town. Want to remind you, we'll have coverage on 91.3 FM, RSU Radio, and RSURadio.com for live audio streaming. Just in case something happens funny with this web stream on ZTV, or the other way around. If radio's having some issues, you can go there. So lots of opportunities here to catch Zebra football. So final thoughts for tonight before we wrap things up with ZTV.
Well, a few things that we expected from this Claremore team coming in. One, be able to run the football. Not only did they do it with Keegan Heisey, a proven running back, but they did it with so many other players as well. Riley Broucher came in, ran extremely well on just a few carries. Kyle Morris came in and performed well for Claremore. Aaron McCullough, Noah Grimmett from that quarterback position played well, ran the offense well. We saw a touchdown pass from McCullough. But I think when you really look at things in the grand scheme, this defense was put in so many vulnerable situations. And it's a younger defense in areas, very experienced in others. To see those guys prevail and come through, I mean, they had 2 turnovers inside their own 25-yard line in the first half. You don't make plays like that on every single week, but to be able to come through and make those big plays and then stop that 2-point conversion, I can't imagine how that defense feels, but head coach Rob Gilbert told us before the season, we're going to go with a true offensive unit and a true defensive unit. 11 different players. Nobody plays both ways, and I think we saw that pay off tonight. This defense had to be on the field for a long time. Had they have been able to play on offense for 30 or 40 plays already in the game, who knows if they would have had the energy, the strength, the stamina to stop that final two-point conversion attempt. So credit to head coach Rob Gilbert and his entire staff for preparing his team for this type of situation. They're not going to have a harder fight this season, that's for sure.
All right. Well, lots of fun had tonight. Good to come away with the win. 21-20, Claremore Zebras pick up the win over the Pryor Tigers. That's going to do it for us here on ZTV. Stay with us on RSU Radio 91.3 FM as pregame will continue. So, for now, this has been Claremore Zebra Football on ClaremoreZebras.tv.